football fans, and welcome to the conclusion of 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, 2019. We have gotten through 7 divisions, 28 teams, and now we have reached our final 4. That's right, y'all. Here we go. One more time for 8 divisions in 8 days this season, and it's gonna be a fun one. We'll be talking NFC South as we get ready to talk Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints. Starting us off here, we have some folks that literally just jumped in the last minute, and I couldn't appreciate them more. Ladies and gentlemen, huge shout out to Miss Molly and her husband, Ralph. Special shout out, I'll tell you why momentarily. Anyway, they will be talking, of course, some Buccaneers football. They actually host their own Buccaneers podcast called The Buccaneers Observer, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. Also, we'll be talking to Mr. J.B. Bodie, of course, Jelani J.B. Bodie, about his Atlanta Falcons. The Dirty Birds, or wait, who exactly are the Dirty Birds? So many birds in the NFL, just saying. Anyway, with that said, we also will be talking with Mr. John Filipe, one of my co-hosts here on 3 and Out, about his Carolina Panthers. And coming up at the end, we got Mr. Kyle Reynolds, Mr. Gumbo himself, talking about his New Orleans Saints. With that said, y'all, the Buccaneers had a terrible season last year. Can they turn things around? Do they finally have the pieces? Or is it going to be just another tough year? The Panthers, my gosh, this team has so many pieces. Can they finally put it together and make a really legit run? Or is this division just too tough and too wide open? The Falcons, you know, after 2 years ago, they were in it, in the Super Bowl. Last year, they were right along, well, 2 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. Right along, or shall I say 3, but right along in the division. But, once again, so wide open, it's been tough. The Saints, well. Tough go for them last year. Can they do it again all the way this time? We shall find out. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, inclusion of NFC Week, right here, NFC South edition on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. My gosh, we have made it. We have made it. I mean, really, this has been something else. This has been awesome. I mean, to think we have gotten through almost all the divisions. We've gotten through 7 of them yesterday. My apologies. I know I didn't even let anybody know. I was like, no warning. But quick and dirty explanation. I had a work meeting that ran right up to the time of the start of the show. And it just kind of fell apart. Kind of sucks. But I knew I was going to probably push the show till today. And I know. I guess it's one of those things. It's even a little bit earlier for y'all. So, you know, just doing my best. But total bummer for yesterday. But it's all good. Just got to say, it's all good. So we are, back at it, of course, for today. And we'll be covering the last 4 teams in the NFL. We've gotten through 28. 28 teams. 28 diehard fans. Today, we have just 4 to go and 4 more diehard fans. So, first and foremost, I just want to say, of course, all glory to God. That's right. Without God, nothing is possible. None of us possible. None of anything is possible. And, of course, big shout out and thank you to all of you out there listening, because without you guys, iSports Radio is nothing. So, we thank you so much for that, and I appreciate you. Next up as well, I got to say, happy birthday to my late, great father. May you rest in everlasting peace, Daddy. I love you. It's been 12 years. It doesn't get any easier. But rest in peace, Dad. I love you. Alrighty, so my pop's birthday. Let's go ahead and get things rocking and rolling. And get on into this NFC South. So, first and foremost, like I said, the Buccaneers, this team is just so... Every season for the last couple of years, I mean, they seem to always have some kind of interesting something going on. They have a great start and they just fall apart. They look promising early, or they may have this great, amazing team. They turn to be a paper team where they just look great on paper, and that's about it. Kind of like what I say about the Texans all the time, or at least last year. And it's like, when are they going to get it together? When it comes to the Falcons, team who was in the bowl a couple years ago. We won't talk about the 25-point lead blown, but I guess we just did. Sorry, Falcons. But tough go for these guys. They have just, the last couple of years, it's just so freaking hard. This division is one of the toughest divisions in the NFL because it's wide open. You have some very tough teams in the mix here, and they just haven't been able to make up enough ground to get back to even the NFC Championship. Will it be this year? We'll find out. Also, the Carolina Panthers, a team who just kind of, they have a, I don't know, I feel like this year they actually have probably one of their best rosters they're going to have. But once again, the roster gets on paper. This team has to go out and make it happen now against a very tough division. Will this be that year they can actually push? I mean, they were in the Super Bowl, 4 years ago? And they fell short. Can this be the year they make that run? And then there was the Saints, who is recently, they're just fresh off of the NFC Championship. I know what happened, but it's in the past, okay? I'm a Raider fan. I bring up the Tuck rule a lot. Guess what? It's in the past. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? So it is what it is. And sucks, but I know. This was probably a little more blatant than the last one. The Tuck rule from last year, the missed PI. But regardless, it is what it is. And hey, can the Saints do it again, though? They have a great leader in Drew Brees. This is a very, very, very good team. So, are they good enough? We will find out. So with that said, y'all, we will be talking about all four of these teams today to conclude 3 and out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC week concludes, and 8 divisions in 8 days concludes today. We're talking NFC South. Well, let's get the party rolling. With that said, y'all, we'll take us out a short break. When we get back, we'll have our first guest on the line talking about those Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my 2 co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running points, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, iesportsradio.com.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring,
the international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all. That is sports, i.e. Sports Radio.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You gotta check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m.
Eastern. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you go. Lots of great shows you can hear on IA Sports Radio right here. And, of course, some other great shows. The BS3 Sports Show. Big shout out to Big Ben Sutter III in Texas. And as well as Mr. Jelani JB Bodie. He'll be on the show next. My interview with him from last Sunday. Well, from this past Sunday. Over there in the ATL. Got to show him some love. So, with that said, y'all, we are now on live with somebody who literally saved the shows and my butt earlier for today. Y'all, I'll tell you what. So basically, long story short, I hear this, okay? All you are going to hear this, like in the next interview, I even say, like, oh yeah, thanks to our buddy from across the pond. Okay, unfortunately, Mr. Lee couldn't make it. He is, great guy and everything, but he's currently at the movies. Well, he'll be there in a little bit, apparently. So big shout to you, Mr. Lee. Thanks again, Mr. Lee Tires. But unfortunately, due to my work meeting yesterday, and I couldn't be able to be on the show, he couldn't do today at the same time, unfortunately. He's going to be busy in the evening, and that's quite all right. I mean, hey, it's his weekend, man. Enjoy it. So, anyway, so this morning, I literally, wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm, scrambling for a Bucs fan. So, I'm tweeting all over the place and just trying to find a Bucs fan. And wouldn't you know it, one of the first people who respond, it's actually a podcast. And I was like, oh, sweet. So they responded, and I was like, all right, cool. So they referred to me, another gentleman. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, and they were so kind enough to shift their time around, as they told me, and make themselves available for this segment. And I just want to give that an applause already, y'all. That is awesome. All right? I'm going to say that is awesome. So as I mentioned in the introduction, okay, go check it out. I mean, she's gonna have her time anyway at the end to tell you about the show and where you can find them and everything. But they even have their own website. So Buccaneers Observer, go check them out, y'all. They have a website, BuccaneersObserver.com. Go show them some love, of course. As I mentioned, she'll have her time at the end to tell you, more about the podcast and the website and anything else, any publications they may do or anything like that. But I just want to say, hey, they saved our butt this morning, okay? Because, last year we had everybody but the Jaguars, and my Jaguars friend, of course, we talked to him last Thursday up in Canada, Johnny Jags. He couldn't be a part of it. I was scrambling for a Jaguars fan, and we ended up talking about the Jaguars just by ourselves. We had 31 teams with 31 fans and just one team where we just talked about it here. And unfortunately, I forgot after the commercial to take off the mute. So it was messed up because the Jaguars, we didn't even get to talk about the Jaguars because on the show it was basically 30, 40 minutes of dead air, silence on last year's 8 Divisions in 8 Days for the AFC South. So I'm like, great. So this year I was like, no, it is my mission. I must have all 32 teams. And as of today, where's an applause button, y'all? We got it! We got all 32 teams today with all 32 fans. Started last Monday to last Thursday, AFC week. This last Monday right here, NFC week. We got the North on Monday, to the West on Tuesday, through the East on Wednesday. And here we are on Friday now, talking about the South. So I just wanted to say a huge shout out and thank you. So with that said, y'all, welcoming in diehard Bucs fan and, of course, husband to her co-host, which is pretty cool, the Buccaneers Observer. And once again, go check out the website, BuccaneersObserver.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored. I'm absolutely honored to have on the show today, welcoming once again, diehard Buccaneers fan, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Molly. How's it going, Miss Molly? How you doing this morning?
Hello, wonderful.
Well, thank you. By the way, I guess big shout out and thank you to your husband again. You two are awesome, and thank you for making this possible today.
Of course.
Really, I was scrambling, so anyway.
We are always happy to talk about the Bucs. I mean, we spend most of our free time. We talk about the Bucs so much, we made a podcast.
Well, I'm glad you did, and honestly, I can't wait to check it out, and I can't wait for you to tell all the Buccaneers fans listening right now all about it. But with that said, at the end of the segment, that is, I'll give you your time there at the end. But with that said, let's go ahead and just jump into that right away. So you can also bring in your husband, I know you said he's asleep, but literally bring, not literally bringing him, but talk about you two and how you became Buccaneers fans, if you know his story as well. But this is always the fun part of the very beginning, especially for the newcomers. Like yourself and your husband. So let us know how did you, and like I said, if you know his story as well, how did you both become such diehard Buccaneers fans?
He became a Bucs fan right when they changed their uniforms, late 90s, early 2000s. He always followed the NFL, but didn't have a team. He liked players. So when Hardy Nickerson came to the Buccaneers, he was always a Hardy Nickerson fan. And at the time, I think that they still had the creamsicle uniforms, and they changed to the red, which are just absolutely badass looking. And that was it. It was the uniform change and Hardy Nickerson, and then, you know, in that time frame, Tony Dungy came, he built the defense, we went to the Super Bowl. We met in 2009, and I always say that I married into Buccaneers fandom because he made it very clear early on he does not do anything on Sundays, Monday Night Football, and Thursday Night Football, and then playoffs during January and Super Bowl. So it was kind of a condition of the relationship immediately. And I jumped on board. It was like, yeah, let's do this together. You're passionate about it. Let's go. And we actually planned our wedding around the Buccaneers game because he got tickets for his birthday in July to an October game. And we said, hey, let's get married that Friday. We'll drive down to Tampa Saturday, go to the game. That'll be our honeymoon. And so that's what we did.
Okay, where's that applause button again? That was one of the coolest stories I've ever heard in my entire life. Ever. Like, ever. So you know right now, everybody out there, yes, no, I am not married. I think a lot of people do know that. Bachelor here. But I will say, it's let's just say I'm very much like your husband. Yes, those days are no-go days. Sunday, during the season, it is Sunday ticket time, and that's how it goes down. Sunday Night Football, I am reserved. Thursday Night Football, I am reserved. Monday Night Football, I am reserved. Those are the days. And pretty much to, you know, whoever that woman may be, guess what? She's going to have to go along with it. So, yeah, I like it. I absolutely like it. I love it, actually. That is awesome. And, well, I'm glad you have married into the Buccaneers. That is so awesome. And by the way, that is super cool that you've had your honeymoon around it. That was so. You went to a Bucs game. But by the way, what Bucs game was that? And please tell me it was a win.
It was the Philadelphia Eagles, October 13th, 2013. We lost. My husband has actually never seen the Buccaneers win in person at a stadium. I think he's been to 5 or 6 games and lost every time. I think he's a jinx. I don't know.
It's not very nice.
So I've seen them twice live and lost both times. I think next time I just need to go without him. So maybe we have a chance at a win.
That's terrible. Well, that is... and by the way, the cream... I call them the 50-50 bar looking uniforms, by the way, which I honestly think they should just bring back. Just kidding. I love those uniforms. I don't know. Those are they not awesome? Come on.
I love them. I do like them, too. And I think now that we have these current uniforms that everyone hates, the creamsicle is more palatable.
It really is, because I mean those are OG right there. Those are around since they were a franchise. What, like in the 70s, I think, or when they were the brand, when they were a expansion team. I forgot when they became a expansion team, or a new team, or became a team, that is. But anyway, that is an awesome story, and I am so glad you got to share it here. That is one of the coolest stories we've had here on 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 Days. I love hearing like a lot. These stories are so awesome how some people became fans. So. Anyway, so with that said, all right, well, let's go ahead and jump on into last season. Was that appropriate to do?
Yeah, it was. It was such a disappointment, and we are always hyped for the Buccaneers. Every preseason, we're going to the Super Bowl. I will tell you, this preseason is no exception. Ending the season 5-11 was really a huge disappointment. We looked so good on paper. Our offense was the number 1 passing attack in the league. They averaged 8.57 yards per attempt, the highest in the league, over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Our wide receiver core was the best in the league. We had Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, Adam Humphries, O.J. Howard, Chris Godwin. But then we had all these distractions on the offense. So Jameis, he sat out in the first 3 games under suspension. Ryan Fitzmagic was in blew it up, and then does what he typically does and has a meltdown. And mid-season, Jameis is benched. Fitzmagic comes back in. He gets benched. Jameis comes back in. So the quarterback controversy, not a great look. Then apparently there was some beef between Jameis and Deshaun Jackson. We don't know what it is. But apparently, from what Joe Buck's fan, it's a blog site down there who has some really good inside sources, said that Deshaun Jackson did something so horrible to Jameis Winston that if they got out, Deshaun Jackson would not be in the league anymore. So I don't know what it is, but there was a problem there, and you saw it during the game. Deshaun Jackson, he wasn't really making the effort to catch passes from Jameis. He was really frustrated visibly. Then he dealt with injury issues. And to top that all off, we really didn't have a head coach that could kind of handle all those issues. Then our defense was equally as abysmal. We spent $50 million on a defensive line, which they did all right, but $50 million worth of production, I don't think so. And then our secondary was super young. They dealt with a lot of injuries, but we had backups, and we just got torched on the passing game. And they looked confused a lot of the times. It was not a good look. They ended up firing Mike Smith, the defensive coordinator, halfway through the season. I think week 5, week 6. And then I think he was the linebackers coach, was promoted to interim defensive coordinator, Mark Duffner, which he did all right. They kind of started to turn around. They looked like the communication was a little better. They looked like they knew what they were doing. But there's only so much that he could do with what he had. So if we had just had an average defense, we might have had a positive record. But instead, we went 5-11. So very disappointing, underwhelming, did not meet expectations whatsoever.
Yeah, it was that's a lot. I didn't even know about the whole Jameis Winston and Deshaun Jackson type of thing there, and well, it is what it is, or the thing that happened that is, but I'm glad nothing ever got out, but still, that just sucks because, you guys, it's true, it's like, you guys are like a paper team, like the paper team in the NFL is the Texans. I said that last year, and I'm going to continue to say it, because show us what's up. On paper, you guys look amazing. You guys look amazing. In games, you look good, but I don't know about amazing. So basically, I am.
Yeah, at times they did, but then other times there was just no whatsoever.
Yeah, that was the Texans. For you guys, it's like you guys look good on paper, and then it's just like, what the heck? So, at least the Texans have some kind of they look okay. You guys are like, whoa, wow. And Fitz, of course, got in there, did his thing, and it was just a rough year. But anyway, so last year in the NFC South, by the way, Google Magic, you ought to Google it real quick, courtesy of NFL.com. We have the Saints at 13-3, the Falcons at 7-9, the Panthers at 7-9. Sorry, the Panthers at 7-9, and the Buccaneers at 5-11, and that was how the story went. So, with that said, any last words before we close the door on last season for good?
It can only go up from here.
I absolutely agree with that. So, with that said, you guys definitely, it can certainly go up, and this team has the makings. Besides the departure of a guy that I saw got drafted. I remember watching I watched all the drafts, but I remember watching this man get drafted, Gerald McCoy. Of course, now his departure on over to the Panthers. You can address that if you'd like to. If not, well then, of course, John Felipe, our Panthers fan, he addresses that, of course, later on in the show. But with that said, let's go on over now, courtesy of ESPN.com, and take a look at free agency. So, as of right now, as of what I see, you guys signed Donovan Smith, offensive tackle. Let's see here. I believe he was actually he's a re-signee, so he's coming on back. Looks like Shaquille Barrett, linebacker. He was a former Bronco. Deion Buchanan, a linebacker, a former Cardinal. Rashad Perryman, well, I know that guy, of course. He would be a former Brown, or is a former Brown. Ryan Griffin, quarterback, comes on in here. You guys sign him. Bradley Pinion, the punter. And let's see here. Peyton Barber, running back. He's a re-signee. And that is all I see here on the website. So if there's anybody that I may have missed or anything like that, please go ahead and address them. And if not, go ahead and talk about your free agency and talk about the roles you think these guys are going to play either immediately or maybe, down the line.
Did you mention Ndamukong Suh?
Oh, well, how could I forget about Mr. I Step on People's Hands
probably
and
my
Kick 'em.
favorite one that we find.
There you go. Ndamukong Suh heading on over to the Tampa Buccaneers to, be that big man. Him and McCoy would have been great together, but great pickup there. So, yes, go ahead and elaborate on all these players, Ms. Molly.
Joe McCoy, believe it or not, he's a little divisive in the fan base. There were some members of the fan base that thought he was too soft, overrated, overpaid, and then others that, he's great in the locker room, he deserves to be here, he's a leader, all that. So we kind of fell in the first camp. I like him. I think that he's an average, maybe above average defensive tackle, but he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's got his speed, but other than that, he's not strong, so he's easy to get pushed out of the play. We actually have a video on YouTube showing plays where he's just completely taken out of it. So we're happy to see him in the NFC South with the Panthers. I'm curious to see how that week 2 matchup goes. But a lot of fans were very upset by this decision. It was largely a money problem, and there have been reports that maybe they asked him to take a pay cut, but he wouldn't, and so none of that's been confirmed by the team or really by him. We don't know definitively what happened, but it seems like his comments afterwards, there's a little bit of bad blood, and I think he is understandably a little upset about the treatment that he got from the organization. So we'll see how that goes in week 2, and then we play them in England, I think, week 6. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Our offensive line is not a strength, so that's a little concerning, but we'll continue with our free agent. We had, who was it? Oh, Donovan Smith. So we drafted him, I think, in 2014, 2015, maybe. He was in a contract year last year, and I will tell you, he was one of the most frustrating to watch because while he's in a lot, and that's kind of his upside, everyone said, oh, he's very consistent, he always plays, he's always in the play, but the effort wasn't always there, so you would sometimes, at least once a game, see him turned around looking at the quarterback and he hit, so that was a little frustrating. The organization standpoint was that there's nobody better, so we have to re-sign him, and he expected top tackle money. I think that he got it. He's making $12.5 a year. It was a $27 million contract for 3 years, so they didn't give him, I think, the longevity that you would expect of a top tackle, but he did get paid. So we'll see how it goes this year. I'm not sure that BA is going to tolerate any loafing. So I hope that he plays better. Shaq Barrett, I'm curious to see. We have a lot of depth as far as the linebacker core and defensive line. He's an outside linebacker, so. And he showed some good sparks at Denver when he did play. He was behind Von Miller. So we're in desperate need of a pass rusher. We'll see if he fits that role. We have other guys that we like, Carl Nassib and Noah Spence, that have been in that position, and they've already been with the team. And it looks like they're taking a lot of the first-team reps in training camp. Rashad Perryman, I haven't heard a lot of him from training camp. Everyone's talking about, of course, Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is supposed to be the number 2. Perryman maybe going to be number 3 or the slot guy. I don't know. It's very up in the air. And we have some guys that we drafted. That tiny guy, Scotty Miller, that we drafted, I think, in the 6th round, was really fast, kind of a Deshaun Jackson clone, that we're hearing more of him from training camp. So, Perriman, I'm not sure. I really want to see him in preseason, so that's to be determined. Who else did you say? I can't keep track of them. It's like we didn't have a whole lot of money in free agency, and so we didn't get like the top name, the guys, you remember their names.
Right, and you know what, honestly, at that point in time, I mean, it's not even that it's that big of a deal, because, like, when it goes to, like, free agency money, I know it sucks when you don't have it, but honestly, I mean, the pickup of Ndamukong Suh was big. I mean, really, I feel like you guys had a pretty decent year in free agency for not having, I didn't even know the cap was that low for you guys, but for knowing that you didn't have that much money, decent. I mean, hey, you guys got somebody to, replace Gerald McCoy, big, tough dude in the middle. I mean, of course, Ndamukong Suh, I mean, just recently on a Super Bowl run with the Rams. So, I mean, this team is absolutely, rocking and rolling. And let's go ahead and transfer on into your draft and talk about this draft, okay? So, courtesy of ESPN.com is where I'm getting my sources from here. We'll go on into the first round. So, first round, 5th overall pick, you guys will pick up an absolute monster, Devin White, linebacker of LSU. Didn't see a lot of him this year, but looking at his film and his highlight and everything that they were showing when he got drafted, these guys, sideline to sideline linebacker, a dude that is definitely going to be making lots of plays. Looks like a totally, hard hitter, and it just looks like a very studious type of linebacker. Like, you can tell he studies his film, he studies fundamentals. He looks just like a very, very good overall linebacker, which goes to show you why the Buccaneers take him 5th overall, okay? After that, in the second round, with the 39th overall pick, Sean Bunting, corner out of Central Michigan. Of course, didn't know a lot about the Chippewas this year, but of course, you guys wanted to go ahead and need you need another corner. You guys have Vernon Hargreaves and Carlton Davis, so you need more. You need more firepower. If anything, some depth, but he looks like he might be somebody who can, get PT his first season, depending on how he does in camp. In the third round, the 94th overall pick, Jamel Dean, another corner out of Auburn. Wouldn't you know it? Another corner you guys pick up. Didn't know a lot about him, but an SEC corner, tough defense there. With the 99th overall pick in the third round, you guys pick up Mike Edwards, another DB. And this time out of Kentucky. And I felt like I have been talking about Kentucky all through 8 divisions in 8 days, because Kentucky was a different story in a different book. I mean, I think I've said it like a million times this year on this show, but every time I see a Kentucky draft pick, I always say the same exact thing, that people didn't even know Kentucky had a football team. I mean, they were like, wait, it's not just a basketball school? Last year, Kentucky just had an incredible season, and you see so many of these players getting drafted right now, so let's see if their depth is strong at Kentucky and they keep on going. But this was definitely a magical year for the Kentucky Wildcats, and you guys would pick up one of their DBs. So it looks like that could be a good good pickup there, or should be a good pickup there. In the fourth round, with the 107th overall pick, you guys pick up Anthony Nelson, defensive end, Iowa. Didn't watch a lot of Hawkeyes football, but depending, they had 2 star tight ends come out. But regardless, it has nothing to do with him. But you guys add some depth to your defensive line. Matt Gay, kicker out of Utah. I'm a Pac-12 guy. I didn't see a lot of him, but regardless, good. You guys have had quite the kicking. My gosh, it's been a kicking nightmare for y'all in the last couple of seasons. So I can definitely say that hopefully this guy is the answer, or somebody, or who knows who is. But anyway, in the 6th round, the 208th pick, Scott Miller, wide receiver out of Bowling Green. In the 7th round pick, in the 7th round, with the 215th pick, Terry Beckner Jr., defensive tackle out of Mizzou. And there you go. So don't know too much about those players either. Regardless, some depth in the wide receiver core and some depth in the defensive line core. And that is going to be that. So, Miss Molly, if you can, go ahead and please give us a recap the draft, or talk about the picks that you like, or talk about the draft overall, and give you an overall grade if you would like to, but, I mean, you're not, like, obligated to or anything. But, yeah, let us know. Talk about the Buccaneers draft.
You know, this one was kind of a head-scratcher. We don't follow college football at all. We don't have time for it. So we just kind of watched the draft. It's like a spectator sport. We enjoyed the meltdown by some Bucs fans on Twitter because this one was weird. Devin White, people were disappointed we didn't get a pass rusher. I like the pick. I like him. He's a replacement for Quan Alexander, who lost in free agency, who was kind of the energy of the defense. So I think that they're looking to Devin White to kind of give us that intangible. He's actually calling plays in training camp, like he's got the green dot. And they said they gave him the green dot and he didn't even know what it was. So he's got the headset. Calling plays. We love him. Then the 3 defensive backs right in a row. That was so weird because I think before that, the coaching staff had kind of said, like, yeah, the defensive backs are fine. And then they go and draft 3 right in a row. And I think a lot of Bucs fans felt like we could use a running back, we could have used a pass rusher. Why are they wasting 3 picks on defensive backs when they say that we're fine? So that was a little confusing. Apparently they're lighting it up in training camp, though. BA has said we want fast, smart, and physical football players. So I think they got that in those 3 defensive backs. Defensive end, Anthony Nelson, I haven't really heard a whole lot of in training camp. It's more of a depth pick. I think him and Terry Buckner, the 7th round pick. We've got some good depth on the line, so we'll see where they fit in. The kicker was another one where it was a really divisive pick. They, you know, we aren't that far out from the Roberto Aguayo pick in the 2nd round that absolutely flopped. And so when we draft another kicker, it's like, what are you doing? But this guy apparently has quite a leg. He's competing with Cairo Santos in training camp, and it's a competition. It is heating up. But this guy, he was a soccer player. I don't think he even played that much in college as far as football goes. So he's kind of a question mark, but good Lord, he has got a leg. They said that you can just hear the boom. And I know he's hit the roof of the training facility. They actually had to zip tie a net to the goalpost, and he cleared the net. So he's just a monster. It's just a question of whether he can show up in a game.
Isn't that always the case? That kind of sucks, right? But it's true. Like, you know, can this transfer over to a game?
Yeah, and Cairo, you know, we signed him last year midway through after we got rid of Tumor Catanzaro, and he was serviceable and he was okay, but he's proven and he's doing well in training camp as well as Matt Gay. So it's just, I don't know if they're going to go with their guy in Matt Gay or if it's a true competition, you know, so who knows? That's another one that we're watching in training camp.
That's an interesting, interesting battle. That's neat to hear a kicker's battle. You never really hear that, so or at least I don't. So that's super cool. So, any more thoughts on the draft, or do you want to go ahead and jump on to a grade?
No, I'm good. Let's go. Let's move on.
Alrighty. So, with that said, do you have a final grade for the Buccaneers? I think I gave you guys like a B- or a C, just because. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I guess you guys needed DBs, but I thought to myself, like, you would need a lot more. So I think I gave you guys, like, a C. But we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I'd give it a B. I wish that they had gotten some offensive linemen, because, frankly, that's a problem, that whole group. So I wish that they had shortened it up. They are signing some scrubs this training camp. I think they brought in 3 or 4 offensive linemen just in training camp. So we'll see what happens there, but that is just kind of a mess.
which is, hopefully things shape up over there. So, with that said, we are right here towards the end of the segment, and this is always a fun one. I'm really glad we do this 4 more times today, because the first 28 times have been awesome. We've had so many different responses. Some of these have been really cool and respectful and nice, and some people don't even want to say anything. Some people are right in the middle. They'll say a few things about a couple teams or one team in general, and they're like, that's it. And then others just let them have it, like the entire division. So, this has gotten fiery, and it's also gotten very chill and respectful. So with that said, this last segment, of course, is called Stick It To 'Em, and Miss Molly here is going to go ahead and talk about the NFC South as a whole, and talk about how what they're going to do this year. So you can go ahead and talk about what you think each team is going to do. You can give us final records if you would like to. You can place them first, second, third, fourth, or fourth, third, second, first. Of course, make sure to include your Buccaneers in there and give them a final record. If you don't want to give them a final record or any other team a final record, I understand. I mean, some people are superstitious, especially for your team, giving them a final record. I totally understand that. So if you always want to talk about how they're going to do or anything like that, all thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here at iSports Radio, including the podcasters and the guests. So, with that said, Miss Molly, stick it to them.
You know, this is going to be my favorite part, because I love some snack talk. Let's get to it. All right. So we have actually on the podcast talked ad nauseum about the Carolina Panthers, partly because Joe McCoy is there, partly because Cam Newton is a goon. He is a big question mark this season with his shoulder. I've heard that he's throwing some bombs in training camp. I've also heard that they're kind of taking it easy on him. We saw what happened when his shoulder wasn't right at the end of last season. They just got absolutely trounced. So I'm looking forward to seeing a meltdown like that this year. You know, Ron Rivera, he's on the hot seat. He had to fire some coaches in December of last year, so I think that his coaching staff is, you know, it's a little shaky there. Their running backs coach retired. Their defensive coordinator is a young guy, and Rivera actually took play calling duties from him in December, and this year Rivera's going to keep calling the plays. He's also going to take responsibility for the defensive backs, and the defensive coordinator is going to handle the front seven. So given that Rivera feels the need to stick his hands in the defense, be more involved, I think that he's on the hot seat. It would not surprise me if they don't do well at the end of the season, if he's gone. They lost a lot of veterans on their defense. I can think of Thomas Davis is gone. Julius Peppers retired. I think they lost Captain Munnerlyn. So they still have Luke Kuechly. He's always a danger. He's always somebody you got to worry about. But, you know, they lost a lot of people. There's some turnover, and they had some other coaches that left. So there's turnover there. The offense, you know, Cam Newton's a one-trick pony. I'm not worried about him. His arm, I mean, he doesn't have the receivers that can make up for his deficiencies in passing. And if you contain him, which we saw last season in our second matchup against him, if you just contain him, that's it. They've gotten Caffrey, who is a stud, and I hate going up against him. I don't even know, like, is there a way to get him under 100 yards? I don't know. We haven't seen it, so he's the one thing on the offense that I'm like, ooh, I don't want to go up against him. Atlanta, they rehired Dirk Cutter after we fired him, brought him back as offensive coordinator. So those matchups will be really interesting because obviously he knows Jameis Winston, he knows Mike Evans, he knows the offensive line, he knows the running back. So whether that'll work to his advantage or not, I don't know, because we also know him. And Bruce Arians, I think, is better with the mind games than Dirk Cutter is. We refer to Dirk Cutter as a clipboard carrier, like he's very much by the stats, by the numbers. So, and I think Bruce Arians is more, he's playing chess. So we're excited about that matchup with Atlanta. You know, we always play everybody in the division hard. We are built similarly to Atlanta. You know, we've got a high-flying offense. The defensive secondary has kind of been lackluster the last few years. We're basically a carbon copy of Atlanta. Dan Quinn, I don't know about him as a head coach. I think he's likely a good defensive coordinator, but since he's taken over as head coach, I'm just not so sure if he's head coach material. So we'll see about that. The Saints, I'm hoping that they have an NFC championship hangover this year because they worry me the most. Sean Payton, I think, is on the same level as Bruce Arians as far as coaching capabilities. I think they're both like to play head games. So we'll see how this matchup goes. We always play them hard. We split with them last year. We beat them the first game of last season and lost the second one. So we'll see how that goes. You know, they just signed Michael Thomas to a huge contract. He was holding out of training camp until he got it, and it sounds like his temper tantrum paid off. So we'll see what impact that has in the locker room.
Awesome. And I love it. I love this because this segment is always so much fun. I mean, I absolutely love it. I mean, because this right here just goes to show you, like, the rivalries are real. You gotta love this. And last but not least, Ms. Molly, how about those Buccaneers? Talk a little about them this year and your expectations. Once again, give a final record if you would like to. If not, once again, you don't have to. But go ahead and talk about the Buccaneers. How do you think they're going to do this year?
We are going to the Super Bowl, baby. This is our year. We are so excited about this team. So excited. We love Bruce Arians that we brought him in. You know, we are never on the fire the coach bandwagon. So at the end of last season, when Dirk Cutter got fired, it was very disappointing for us. Not because of him per se, but it always means, you know, there's a lot of turnover on the roster. It's a completely different team. We've dealt with so much rebuilding in the last 10 years. It's just, you get tired of it. It's like, can we just stick with one thing? I want to stick with Bruce Arians forever.
He's a great coach.
We just we just love his attitude. I think he's coming in, and we are in dire need of a culture change, and I think he's the person to do that. Jameis Winston, I think he is in his final year of his contract. So it's make or break for him. We've never signed a quarterback to a second contract. So this is going to be it for him. He's got to do it. I think he's on a fifth-year option this year, so we at least exercise that. And he's got to show up. And he has in the last few years. We like him as a quarterback. He's our quarterback. But he does make boneheaded decisions. And he doesn't read the field particularly well. He had a lot of interceptions last season. That was kind of his thing. That's what got him benched. Of course, Fitzpatrick did too, but it's been his MO. So if BA can fix Jameis, he's the quarterback whisperer. I think that we are going to be set. The defense is totally crazy. From what I hear in training camp, it's just you have no idea what they're even doing. They're under Todd Bowles, so it's crazy. There's a lot of blitzes. And we've got two guys that we touched on earlier, Ndamukong Suh, but then we have Vita Vea, who we drafted last year, and everyone called a bust initially because he's injured, and then he's in the game, but he's just sticking a blocker, so they actually started calling him Velcro Vita. Well, General Manager Jason Light had a talk with him and told him, you need to be violent. And after that, it was like he was just unleashed, and he's throwing guys and shaking them like rag dolls, and he's fast, so he can, chase a runner down the field, and he's bull rushing a lot. You can double team him, he can split a double team. You cannot one-on-one this guy. So him, besides Suh, they're saying in training camp, there have been multiple occasions where Suh and Vita get through the line so fast that the play is just dead immediately. So I am excited to see that against our division opponents in particular, but all season. and it's going to be awesome.
That is so cool. And you know what? I always say it, whenever you have a good pass rush, you got a good team. And these two monsters are in the middle, not on the outsides. So that's awesome. And Vita Vea, I remember seeing him play for Washington, like I'm a Pac-12 guy, and I'm a huge college guy. I think I honestly love college a little more than the NFL, but I love college football. And watching this monster play in college was just like, wow. And now it's going to be so awesome seeing him play in the professionals because he's an animal. I know he is, and that's so cool. That's neat. It's crazy. You had to have that talk with the owner, but that's crazy. It was the owner, right? You said they had to talk with him?
The general manager.
General manager, the GM did. So that is crazy, but you know what? Hey, whatever lit a fire under him, and he's ready to rock and roll. So that was awesome. And, that's awesome. And, by the way, that was just so awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Molly, for being on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Miss Molly, thank you so much for being on the show today. That was awesome. Awesome segment.
Thanks for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. And, like I said, Tiger husband, thank you very much as well. And we got to have you both on the show very soon. Now, of course, here at the end of the segment, as I already promised, go around ahead. You know what to do. Plug your show, plug your website, blogs, whatever y'all do. Go ahead and throw it on up there and let all those Buccaneers fans listening right now know where they can find you and your husband and your website and your YouTube videos and your blogs and whatever else y'all do, let them know where they can find you.
We're on Twitter at Bucks_Observer. We've got a podcast. It's the Buccaneers Observer. Search for wherever you listen to podcasts. We've got typically 3 a week. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. So search for us there. And then we also have a website, BuccaneersObserver.com. Mostly just our podcasts are up there. We've been a little slack with getting any content, but you can check back there periodically.
Well, that is awesome. And I'm so glad to have had you on the show today. That was a lot of fun. And like I said, that was a great job. So, once again, thank you so very much for being on the show, Miss Molly. Have a wonderful weekend, you and your husband. And, hey, have a great weekend. And God bless you both. God bless your families. And we will look to have you back on the show very soon.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty, there you go. Once again, Miss Molly, y'all, of Buccaneers Observer. So, with that said, we're going to take a short break. We're going to take ourselves a short break. When we get back, we'll be talking with Mr. Jelani J.B. Bodie about his Atlanta Falcons. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, NFC Week conclusion, or the conclusion of NFC Week, NFC South Day, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back after this.
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the Weekend Wrap-Up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend Wrap-Up on Spreaker.com. Part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Welcome back, football fans. Well. This is always a special segment when this guy's aboard, man. As I mentioned in the introduction of today's show, we have to always end 8 divisions in 8 days with a bang, right? And there's no bigger bang that you can possibly get than bringing aboard one of the heavy hitters. Well, they are all heavy hitters in my opinion. But bringing on a member of the X Squad to talk about his team. And I'm so dang proud to bring this guy on for today's show, man. He's been on the show numerous times. He is in probably one of the absolute best, I will have to say right now, not one of he was in the absolute best primetime face-off ever recorded here on 3 and Out during the regular season, him versus Kylam, and I really hope they play again in primetime this year because they will go at it again, because that's a primetime face-off where it's supposed to be 30 minutes, but honestly, we just let it roll on for as long as they want to go because they just go at it. And that game every year is that much better. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love football anyway, but that game is always incredible, especially after listening to these two go at it. So with that said, y'all, so glad to have him here for today's show. This interview was actually recorded a couple days ago on Sunday, July 28th. Because, of course, due to the time, you already know the whole spiel. I said that all last week during AFC week. But hey, anyway, y'all, Hall of Fame game today, later on this evening. So get excited. First team up of the day. We have 4 teams to go, as I mentioned in the introduction. And the first of those 4 teams coming up today is none other than the Atlanta Falcons. And who's here to talk about those Atlanta Falcons? His Atlanta Falcons? Well, all the way from the ATL, ladies and gentlemen, the man needs no introduction, but here we go anyway. He is the host of the Wait a Minute Show. He is an X Squad affiliate, member of the X Squad, one of the biggest, baddest podcast networks you can find on Spreaker and pretty much anywhere. Big shout out to KC and Jersey Vern, and my gosh, man, the list goes on, man. Vince Wright, Ben Sutter III, I mean, Barbershop Talk, all these cats, man. Make sure to give them a follow over there. But give this man a follow as well, y'all. The Wait a Minute Show, you hear the drops all over all of our shows. I don't think there's one show on here that doesn't play that drop at least at some point during their show, or at least have played it in some point during their show history. And I'm always happy to play it here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, as I mentioned, he is the host of the Wait a Minute Show here. Well, on Spreaker, of course, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights. He'll correct me if I'm wrong, or if there's any schedule changing. But, of course, glad to have him here for today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Jelani J.B. Bodie. What's going on, Jelani? How you doing today, man?
What is up, Larry B? I'm in the place.
You really are, man. And I love it. I got to steal one from Jelani real quick, man, because he's always got to, when he goes to the chat line, the chat room in his show, I love it, man. He's like, yo, Jelani's in the building. So, I mean, I love what he says that, man, in the building. So, gotta love it, man. Great stuff as always, with your show, and just so dang excited to check it out. I haven't been on there in a while, man. Gotta get back up on it. It's busyness as usual, but I know you know the same thing, man. Probably even more than myself, because you're a busy man. But man, Jelani, it's been too long. I'm glad to have you back here on the show, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the introduction you gave me.
Hey, as always, man. Hey, always here to support, always here to show love, and man, your show is unlike any other, man. So go ahead and check it out, y'all. He will give you the information, of course, in the segment about every way you can check him out. TheWaitAMinuteShow.com, the Wait a Minute Show, of course. His Facebook information to watch him live or on the website. I think he still does it on his Facebook, but are you still doing it live on Facebook, Jelani?
I took a break, but I'm going to get back to it.
Okay, well, hey, man, he's doing his thing. He's great stuff as always. But with that goes, Jelani, let's start things off. You were the first one up, man. This is it. You were the first one up. Final 4 teams of 8 divisions in 8 days. We have gotten through 28 teams. This would be team number 29 today, right now, on Thursday, August 1st. So here we go. Let's get into your Atlanta Falcons. So first things first, Jelani. You guys last year, let's go ahead and take a look at some, of course, as I always like to say, some Google magic. So, buy me a few seconds because you got to love the Google magic here. But the NFC South standings, so courtesy of Google, looking here at of course Google, we have the Saints finishing at 13-3. Everyone talked a million. We're gonna hear Kylam talking about this in a little bit, about what happened last year in the playoffs. Yes, it was a PI. It is what it is, though. So at 13-3, they finished it up. You guys will be right in this really awkward spot at 7-9, right there with the Panthers at 7-9. You will finish second. They will finish third, and the Buccaneers will finish at 5-11. So first things first, man. Give us a talk about last season. Every single thought you can think about. Well, maybe. Every thought you want to bring up, that is, you can think about last year and these Atlanta Falcons.
Well, yeah, like you said, last year they finished 7-9, and definitely not, where they wanted to be, because obviously, just being at that point a year removed from the Super Bowl, they had aspirations of getting back, and this team, from the get-go, pretty much game one, went through a literally injury-riddled season, losing key guys on defense and on offense, like Keanu Neal, Deion Jones. They lost Devontae Freeman, among others. So one of the things that came from it, though, well, I'll get into that in just a second, but the injuries were a big part that played out how this season was. The team struggled at times, and it was just, trying to overcome, what was set in place. So it seems like when they always were trying to make a move, something else would happen, to set them back. Now, having said all that, because injuries are part of the game, and it is something you just have to deal with. One of the things that, was a bright spot that came from that is I think, we got a highlight of, Calvin Ridley coming out, and he was a question mark as far as why the Falcons took him last year as a first-round pick, and we saw he had 10 touchdowns and was a big factor in the Falcons' offense. And now there are big expectations that are going to be, set upon him to produce. So from some of those injuries that happened, you depend on other guys. KZ was another guy on the defensive side. A lot of people hadn't heard of him playing the safety. I think he actually, if he didn't lead the league in interception, I think he was second place in the league. So he was a guy, that was in the rotation, that was put into the starting role. So there was some highlights, from that, but it was just a big injury season that they were trying to overcome.
It was, man. You guys had it was a tough one, but I mean, bringing up Calvin Ridley, man. This guy is somebody that I was so glad that everyone that I picked up my fantasy team this year. I believe it or not, I'm gonna be taking Riley Ridley. These guys, man, they're very talented athletes, and I think right now, you guys definitely found a gem that I think everybody saw back in college. But regardless, it's a team sport, and not just one man can do this. So it was a lot. It was a lot on you guys last year, and just the injuries all over the place. You guys are plagued with injuries. But when it comes down to it, though, man, at the end of the day, you guys have a very good, solid core of players, which still led y'all to a 7-9 season. I know that's not much, and I know that's not good enough, but still, I mean, to think it could have been so much worse, and you guys really, had enough star power, in my opinion, to get to at least a 7-9 record. So once again, I know it's no constellation, but still, this team is still very talented. And so let's go ahead and jump on over now to free agency. I mean, this is big. This is gigantic. And what's funny? I forgot to do the good old introduction, if you will, when it comes to you becoming a fan. But Jelani, you have been on this dang show so many times. If people don't know how you became, or how you're such a diehard fan, and long story short, y'all, Jelani JB Bodie, originally from Michigan, so he's got a soft spot for those Lions that we talked about with Mike on Monday, of course. I mean, that was like his first team, but of course, going over to the ATL, well, Jelani just kind of adopted the Falcons. I mean, am I pretty accurate with that little story there, Jelani?
Oh, yeah, very accurate. sure. Yeah, out there. Been here now, over 20 years at this point. So, born and raised in Michigan, grew up a Lions fan, and then got down here. Was not a Falcons fan immediately, but, just from being down here, identified with the struggles of the team because it was similar to my Lions. Went to a few games, and then after that, kind of started falling in love with them.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, there you go. Two teams that I mean, hey, that to me is, it's not like he's jumping aboard anybody or leaving anybody in the past, because, I mean, he's still as much a Lions fan as he's ever been. He's just, big time Falcons guy. And I love it. He's right there talking Falcons football. I mean, right there on the ATL. So, I mean, yeah, always great stuff and always great having you on here. But, okay, so let's go ahead and jump on now on over to free agency. It's courtesy of AtlantaFalcons.com. And looking at the free agency tracker right here. So, first things first, a couple big pickups here. J.J. Wilcox, safety. You guys picked him up out of Dallas. Pretty big pickup. Rashid Hegman, I believe you re-signed him. Hegman, I believe, won't butcher his name, but he's actually, a couple years back, I forgot where he came from, Minnesota. I forgot where he came from, but he's always been a dang good player, in my opinion. A very tough defensive lineman. Looks like you guys re-signed him. John Wetzel, you guys will pick him up from the Cardinals, offensive lineman. Well, also, we have Chris Odom. Looks like another re-signee here, defensive end. Let's see. Taylor Davison, defensive tackle here. You guys will pick him up here from, look at that, the rivals, from Carolina. Chris Cooper from the Colts. He is a safety. Also, I'm going to mess this up. Looks like Afolabi, I believe, Laguda from the Rams, actually. Safety here. Adrian Claiborne, defensive end, will be a re-signee. Adam Geddes, guard from the Patriots. Let's see. Kenmal Ishmael, linebacker, also another re-signee, looks like. And Justin Hardy, yet another re-signee, receiver for the Falcons. Logan Paulson, tight end, re-signee from the Falcons. King John Barner, running back, pretty good pickup there from the Panthers. And let's see here, Luke Stalker, tight end. He was a former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. James Carpenter, big boy left guard from the New York Jets. And looks like Jimon Brown, right guard, another big boy there. He is from the New York Giants. Grady Jarrett, a guy who I think is, honestly, he's in my top 10 defensive linemen in the NFL, just because he stays low, he uses hands, he's aggressive, he is a tough player, man. So, really good player here. It says here they franchise tagged him on AtlantaFalcons.com. We can get more into that. Defensive tackle once again. And then Mac Schaub, quarterback. Guys will, re-sign him, as well as, looks like, Bleedy Rhett Wilson, that is. Corner out of, also another re-signee. And let's see, there's a couple more. Ty Sambrail, I believe. Another pickup here, another re-signee. Steven Means, defensive end, another re-signee. Bruce Carter, linebacker, another re-signee. And that is it. So, my gosh, you guys had a field day with re-signees and some good free agency. So, I went through the entire list, but Johnny, you don't have to. You don't want to. So, real quick, man, talk about you guys in free agency this year. Talk about, the guys who you think come in and can make an immediate impact. And also some of those re-signees that you would like to elaborate on.
So this free agency, it wasn't the big flash, if you will, maybe like some of the other teams where you got like a major name. But I think for the most part, what the Falcons were trying to do is really shore up their depth. Because like I was just talking about before, where it was just such an injury-riddled season for them last year, you had guys that, that they wanted to step in and step up. And I remember Dan Quinn, he comes from out of Seattle, and that's one of the things that Seattle did. Either they played young guys early, or they had a lot of depth for guys to step up, and that they maybe not was as good as the guy that was in front of them. Of course, that's the whole, point if you're second or third string, but you were able to step into that role and still continue to help the team. So with some of these moves that they made, I think that's really what they're trying to do, is trying to prepare in case there is an injury, and we already have had, a few. Michael Bennett, he went down with a injury. Defensive lineman, and J.J. Wilcox that you were just talking about. He's done for the season, which was one of our signees, and he actually tore, I think it's ACL, the first day of training camp. So what they're trying to do with bringing back some of these previous guys that played for the Falcons, like the Claiborne, like the Hagman, is just really shore up their depth for what they have right now, because their starters are they have some pretty good starters. Like you just said, Grady Jarrett, he got franchise tag. He got his deal taken care of. They actually extended him, so he's the third highest paid D tackle in the league at this point, and he deserves it. If you look at his numbers, obviously no one's really going to compare any D tackle to Aaron Donald. He is, in a class by himself, but Fletcher Cox is after that, and then you got Grady Jarrett. So taking care of their key guys on the defensive side and picking up free agents for depth is what I think this team is trying to do. So if they do have a situation where another guy goes down, then they have someone that can step up and step in.
I think so, and I love it. I think you guys, I like what you said. No big names, but you did what you had to. You picked up the names that you needed to. Sucks about J.J. Wilcox, man. Get well soon. God bless you, sir. Hopefully he can get back to it next year and be better than ever, but that sucks to hear that about him getting, tearing his ACL the first day of training camp. That is terrible. But, hey, it's football. Fortunately, crap like that happens, and it's, any sport, any sport can happen. I mean, walking down the street could happen, but, of course, playing a sport could happen anytime, so hopefully everything's all right. But when it comes down to it, man, you guys played extremely well in the defensive line, in the trenches last year. And yeah, Grady Jarrett was a big reason why. So I like that. And yeah, third highest paid in the NFL. He needs to be, man. Amazing. You said that right? Third highest paid D tackle?
Third highest paid D tackle.
This man deserves it. Thank you. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump on into the draft, Jelani. Let's do this, man. This is going to be... I looked right here. I have right here, courtesy of ESPN.com, and that's right. You guys picked up one of my favorite players in the draft in the first round. And Jelani's probably going, what the heck are you talking about? No. This man right here, and you heard me last Tuesday, guys, talk about this with Miss Lori when Mike was on, because Mike also, he liked these guys as well, both of them. But playing for the South, both of these players, guys, both of them were amazing side by side. I'm talking about, of course, Dalton Risner and Chris Lindstrom. These two guys on the right side of that offensive line were eating everybody alive, man. It was just, these guys were bulldozing the right side of that line. It was incredible to see them play at such a high level, and I really enjoyed, I seriously would take both these guys together, because that's it, 1 and 2, like that's it, my draft is done. Like seeing these guys, they can grow and get better and get stronger and get tougher. But you guys would go ahead, and so once again, as you know, Dalton Risner went on over to the Denver Broncos. But we have here Chris Lindstrom, guard out of Boston College, 14th overall pick. So, first round, 14th overall pick in this draft. What a great pickup, okay? Once again, first round, 14th overall pick in the 2019 NFL draft. Great pickup here. I thought this guy was just, I think he can be an immediate starter or at least get, a good amount of PT. He is a very tough offensive lineman, and I just want to see him continue to get better. So, now also you guys had another pickup here, 31st overall pick, Caleb McGarry, offensive tackle out of Washington, a Pac-12 guy, so I know a thing or two about Washington, and hey, decent year this year, and this guy's a big reason of their offensive production. Next up, and while it looks like you guys haven't have a pick for a while after that, no second or third, but into the fourth with the 111th overall pick, Kendall Sheffield, corner out of Ohio State. Of course, we know this team is notorious for putting out just playmakers no matter what. Amazing player here, I think, that you guys are able to pick up later on, and he could be really be developed. Ohio State this year, defense, not too bad. John Kaminsky was out of defensive end out of Charleston. Didn't know much about him, but he picked up in the 4th round with the 135th overall pick, and in the 5th round with the 152nd overall pick. You guys got Quadri Allison, running back out of Pittsburgh. I think I knew a little bit about him, but regardless, Pittsburgh, in my opinion, somewhat of a tough team. Almost every season, in a sense. I mean, I don't know too much about those Pittsburgh Panthers, but of course, they've got themselves a little more depth there in the running back core. Next up in the 5th pick with the 5th round, 172nd overall pick, Jordan Miller, cornerback out of Washington. Yet another, in my opinion, quality player on the defense. 6th round pick, we have with the 203rd pick overall, Marcus Green, wide receiver out of UL Monroe. And that would be that. So don't know too much about him, as I don't know about the running back out of Pittsburgh. But with that said, Jelani, go ahead and give yourselves a grade if you would like to. And talk about some of these guys who you think could be an immediate impact or maybe even impact over the years.
All right, so with the draft, I'm going to be honest. When initially how the draft went down, I did not think that the Falcons were going to go O-line with their first 2 picks. It threw me back, and I'll be honest. But I'm like, hey, these guys are the professionals. I'm not. So, maybe there's something that I should, look at or open my mind to on it. And I'll get to that in just a moment. So, but after looking at it, I do like why they went O-line, and I'll tell you in just a moment. Round 4, they went with Kendall Shepard at DB. Again, this is more just depth. Same thing with John Kaminsky is depth. Rotation. Like I said, we saw that in Seattle. Seattle was really big for their front line rotation, being able to rotate in fresh guys. Quadri Allison, he was a draft pick in the 5th round. Is he going to make the team? I don't know. But he's definitely a guy that they are probably looking at to go along with Freeman and Ito, since because I'm pretty sure they knew, or at that point they already knew they had lost Tevin Coleman, so you had to get some type of depth behind Ito and Devontae Freeman. Marcus Green, 6th round pick. Again, at this point, he might be a special teams guy, because I think they got with Sanu, Ridley, Julio, Hall is still on this team. So, their wide receiver core is pretty much set, but you always can add a wide receiver, but then this is probably more of a special teams move than anything. And the same thing with Jordan Miller, rotation, but he can probably also help out on special teams. Now, going back to the first round with the offensive tackles, that really kind of took me for a loop for a second, but I went and looked, and this makes sense. Now, Matt Ryan, I think a lot of people may not realize this, but Matt Ryan, they really realized he was the MVP 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, his numbers, he was a little bit over 4,900 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he had 117 QB rating. Do you know what his stats were this past year?
Higher?
Almost. He was right there at 4,900. He actually finished 20 yards less than his MVP season, but 35 touchdowns in compared to 38, and then he still had 7 interceptions. So he pretty much had an MVP season, and they still finished at 7-9. Now, the difference was this past year versus that year they made the run to the Super Bowl is they had a quality run game. And that run game took a hit with just Tevin Coleman. So I think they didn't want to just put it on Matt to be throwing the ball the entire time. They want to get back to, running the ball, actually controlling the clock, and also giving their defense, a little bit of a rest. Because some games last year, it was just the defense was on the field too much. and they got tired, and then they end up in the fourth quarter they couldn't stop anybody. So I think they went these offensive linemen to establish the run. And if you go and look at, and this is really for the NFC South in their division, because you got the Panthers, you got the Buccaneers, and you have the Saints, all who have quality, really good defenses on their team. The New Orleans Saints, you have Cameron Jordan, which is a beast on the outside, and they got this kid, Marcus Davenport, that they moved up in the draft last year to get, that everyone is speaking ravely about him, so they're expecting big things. But then they also man in the middle with guys like Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins. And then their linebackers aren't too shabby either with Alex Anzalone and DeMario Davis. Now, that's just the New Orleans Saints. Their defense is pretty good. If you go and look at the Carolina Panthers as well, they also have Bruce Irvin, who was formerly here, in Atlanta. You got guys as Abominable, Mario Addison, and man in the middle, Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy. Not Gerald McCoy, I'm sorry. Dontari Poe and Kawan Short. Gerald McCoy. No, I'm sorry, yeah. Gerald McCoy is in Carolina now. So, yeah, I'm still thinking he was in Tampa. But, yeah, these guys are manning the middle. And then, of course, Luke Kuechly is behind them. And then now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Gerald McCoy went to the Carolina Panthers because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they signed Ndamukong Suh, and they got this guy, Vita Vea, that they drafted last year to plug up the middle. So you got we were just talking about Grady Jarrett. You got some really big monsters in the middle. And to establish the run, you're going to need to establish the run with guys that you just said, are real angry, monsters that don't mind mixing it up. So to go with Jake Matthews, to go with Alex Mack. So I see what the Falcons are doing at this point. So they went also offensive line to establish the run, to take off the pressure off of Matt Ryan, and to give him time to, when they do decide to go down the field, to a guy in Calvin Ridley and to a guy like Julio and to Mohamed Sanu, then you have the time that you need to go downfield. And the one thing that they did very well in that Super Bowl run was the bubble screen. The screen out to Devontae Freeman and having linemen that can pull and get in front and make smaller guys like linebackers and DBs and safeties think twice about getting in there. That helps, with it. So I see what they did now. Well, on draft night, I was like, what? But then I'm like, okay, I get it, what they're trying to establish. So they're going to be trying to establish the run with these draft picks, and then also with the depth that they added with some of the DBs and running backs and other DNs.
See, there's always a method to the madness, apparently, so, or at least sometimes. And that's awesome. See, so I really, that's cool. You're able to, think back and be like, oh, well, you know what? That's almost like what they did a couple years back. So, man, this is a really good, I think it's a pretty good draft class. Overall, man, I think just because you guys got Lindstrom, I might be a little biased. I gave you guys an A because you guys are really protecting Ryan. You guys are just, in my opinion, you guys got the guys you needed, and then some skills at the end. But you got two big boys up front to really help protection, and as well as I do, man. A team with a good pass rush is a good team. So if you can prevent that pass rush, you can stop good teams. So I don't know, Zolani, give me your thoughts, man. Give me your honest grade.
Honest grade for the draft?
Yes.
I give him a B.
Okay.
It was a good draft. I think it was a solid draft. And it'll remain to be seen. I'll give it a B, and it could possibly move up to an A, especially if these two offensive linemen works out.
Hey, I'll take that, man. So, final segment of the segment, we like to call it, and we've been doing it all 8 divisions and 8 days long, of course. And this one, I don't know, Jelani can come out nice and respectful and just chill, or I've heard Jelani spit absolute fire before. I mean, well, it's usually against Kylan, but in the primetime face-offs versus the Saints. But all right, Jelani, here's your chance to stick it to the rest of the division, man. This is a little segment what's called Stick It To 'Em, where you get to talk about, you could be, like I said, nice, respectful, mean, disrespectful, however you want to be. All thoughts and comments and opinions are their own, including of the podcaster and of the guests here on IE Sports Radio. So, let us know, man. Stick it to them. Let us know who you think or what you think the rest of the division is going to do this year. Add in your Falcons, of course. You can add in records if you'd like. You can add in your own record as well for the Falcons. Let us know, what you think they're going to finish this year. If you don't want to, I know some people are superstitious. That's completely okay. But without further ado, man, NFC South, Jelani JB Bodie. Stick it to him.
Okay, so here we go. First off, I'm going to be honest. It's going to be a dogfight because the NFC South is a dogfight every year. And in teams that we've seen, like the Saints, have done very well the past 2 years, you always have a team that end up stepping up, taking over the first place. It's just the nature of the division that they always have a battle, minus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's just start there. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I love Bruce Arians. I love what he stands about, how he treats his players and how he goes about his business. But this is going to be a transition year for them and him to really fill out and get the guys that he wants, because all of them are not there. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to finish in last place once again in the division. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that right now. I think 99.9% of America would probably agree with me on that, and the other point whatever percent that's left is how shall we say, a little biased to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, finishing in third place, this is kind of tough, but I'm going to say these top three teams, is going to be closer than a lot of people think. But I'm going to say with the third place, it will fall in just like it did last year with the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton. I'm going to say this. Cam Newton has been working with North Turner, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised with Cam and his throwing this year, because I've seen him before talk about how he's been focusing on just staying disciplined with a lot of things in his life. And one of those things, I think, why he's doing this is so that work on his mechanics, work on his throwing mechanics, and then if it's not working out, to still stay with it and not go away from it in the game and go back to what he's comfortable with. So I think we're going to see an improved Cam Newton, but they do have some, question marks as far as with their wide receivers. I mean, DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, they were rookies last year. They're coming along, so they are going to be expecting, more from them. I don't know what you're going to get from Greg Olsen at this point. He is a year older, and he has had some injury seasons. Their defense will definitely be a problem, so I'm not going to, act crazy or anything like that, but I think the Carolina Panthers is going to finish third place in this division. Now that leaves the top two. This is pretty much what we came for because of the Falcons and the Saints. And the Saints, I give them, they have gotten the best of us a few times just recently. They're coming off a 13-3 season. They got robbed of that opportunity. Remember, opportunity. I didn't say they would have made it to the Super Bowl, but they got robbed of an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And for the past 2 years, they have been right there on the cusp. Have to take them serious, especially with their defense, especially with their offense that they have. Having said all that, dramatic pause, Larry V. I'm going to go ahead and say that these suckers get dethroned from first place of the NFC South this year. And it was strictly because the Atlanta Falcons, they are back. And when I say back, I mean literally back. You got Deion Jones, he got his money. You got Keanu O'Neal, he's going to get paid eventually. But you got Grady Jarrett, he's back. You got Devontae Freeman, he's back. You got Matt Ryan, Julio, and the rest of those boys. They are all back. They're all intact. They're going to be ready to go. Julio is going to get his deal done. I think that'll be done here probably in the next few days, so we don't even have to talk about that. In the future, everything is going to be right, and everything is going to be ready for this team. And this defense that we lost a lot of key players last year are going to be back. And barring any injury, they are going to show why they are a team that you need to fear. This will not be the same team where they were putting up 35, 40 points and, just trying to outscore everyone. This will be a team, I think they will be staying around the 25 to 27 range, if you will, on a game, but that's going to be all that they need because their defense is going to slow people down, and they are going to run the ball. They are going to Julio now. He went off on a little tangent. Come out, he might mess around and get 3,000 yards. I don't know where he got that from, so I'm going to say, ladies and gentlemen, don't take him serious on that. But all I'm saying is that now I think all the pieces are there. I think the Falcons are ready, and if they establish the run and don't play air ball the entire time, they're going to be a problem in the NFC South. That's all I got to say.
Jelani, when you said that the Falcons are going to dethrone the Saints, I know you couldn't hear it, but I hit almost every gosh dang sound effect I have on the board here on Spreaker, man, the Spreaker desktop. Okay, I don't even care. I put the sound of the thunder, hit the applause button, blew a whistle. I mean, all kinds of, rung the bell. All right, man, you know what? I love that. You're confident in this team, and I like how you said that. They blew they didn't blow up, but they missed an, how you say that? An opportunity. They an opportunity.
They got robbed of an opportunity.
They got robbed of an opportunity. I like that. All right, man. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear what Colin has to say about that. Oh my, that's gonna be so much fun. Look, man.
Speaking of Colin, you know I can't leave here without saying something about Colin. So you talked about earlier. You best believe Gobble Gobble Day, Thanksgiving, prime time. At night, 8:30, whenever it is, going down here in the ATL, it will be the Dirty Birds against them Saints, and I will be in the building for that game. So I will be looking for Colin.
I'm loving this. I can't wait for that. So okay, that's right. So it will be again on Thanksgiving night. So you know what that means, man. We got a special primetime face-off coming up that week. You know that, Jelani. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So, with that said, hey man, that will conclude the segment. My gosh, what a segment it was! I'm telling you, man, Jelani always brings the thunder, man. Always brings the fire. I'm loving it. Great stuff as always, Jelani, man. It's your time. Go ahead, man. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter, any other social media you'd like to plug, and of course, we can find the Wait a Minute Show, the website, everything, man. Let everybody know.
Man, real easy, man. All you got to go is to waitaminuteshow.com. So waitaminuteshow.com. You go on there, you'll be able to see where you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and click on the episodes tab so you can listen to all the previous episodes that's been on. We're on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live, but then you always can catch the playback when you click the episodes. But when you go in there, make sure you follow as well so you get a notification every time the show get live, and then that way you can join in and jump into the chat room with all the other Wait a Minute Show listeners and chat it up with me. And then also on Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on X Squad Radio Network. They can go there as well. Make sure you're following X Squad because I'm on there at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time during the week. So I give you your sports on hump night, and then I give you your sports fix on the weekend as well. So the waitaminuteshow.com. Very easy. Waitaminuteshow.com. Actually, we're going to have a call-in show too. So one day I'll put that together, and then you can call into the show, talk to your man, and then just be careful. Be very, very respectful, because if you don't, you win.
What was that last? I'm sorry about that last, because if you don't, my bad. The next caller is actually calling in right now, so that annoying dial tone noise just hit. But what was that last part, Jelani? Sorry about that, man.
Be very, very respectful if you call into my show, because if you don't, you'll get dealt with.
Because we got Low Pen in the building.
That's right. I will unleash Low Pen.
There we go, man. Sorry, y'all, for everybody who heard that, the beeping from the other line, man. Like I said, my next guy's coming on up right now. The next interview for today, I said Sunday. So Sunday I'm recording all kinds of interviews, and you will hear that all throughout the week. So once again, my apologies for that. I wish there was somebody could turn that sound off on my phone or something. But sorry about that. So anyway, with that said, Jelani, It has been great as always, man. Thank you so much for being on today's show, and I'm really looking forward to having you back all throughout the season, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, man. Like I said, it's a great time as always. Hey, God bless you and your family. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening, good sir. Well, rest of your day, and have a great week, man. And get ready for some football because we're coming.
All right. I appreciate it, Larry B.
Hey, Todd. Take care, brother. All right, y'all. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's like our callers calling all over the place, as you can see. But that was Mr. Jelani J.B. Bodie. And that will do it for this segment here. When we get back, we got 3 teams to go. And wouldn't you know it, y'all? I'm excited for this one. You heard it in the introduction. We got ourselves a man from overseas over there in jolly old England. Mr. Lee Tyers is about to join us live. That's right, y'all. In GMT over there in UK time, y'all. So he'll be joining us, a fan all the way from the UK, Buccaneers fan all the way from the UK, coming up right after this. Once again, you are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, NFC week conclusion, that is. Right here, NFC South Day, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll get right back to you for the next team up and those crazy Buccaneers right after this.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime-time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Hello, soccer fans. Pierre Moss here with you. I am the host of the Soccer Scoreboard Show right here on IE Sports Radio each and every week. Games and the best action from around the world of soccer. Not only do we have live scores for you, but we also news and all the latest stories from the soccer world right here on the Soccer Scoreboard Show. Come join us each and every week right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest owners. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
My NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such reward tonight and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone, because on Wednesday nights I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in. And we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired of all the drama. Tired of all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, I'm glad that this guy could make it to this segment of the show. He's, it's summertime, home with the family, doing all kinds of family stuff right now. So, of course, we wanted to find some kind of time to bring him on in here. I know he hasn't been a part of 8 Divisions in 8 Days. Once again, it's the summer. He's out of school right now, home with the family and doing the family thing. So, like I said, it's totally okay. And he just didn't know if he was going to be able to join us on Thursday. So it's kind of funny because as you're listening to the show, if he was with us or is with us during this show or is with us during this time, then you'll know the answer by then. But right now on Sunday, we're actually pre-recording this as a just-in-case interview on Sunday. But we're going to play it anyway on the show, of course. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is it, the conclusion of NFC week and the conclusion of 8 Divisions in 8 Days. And as I already had mentioned, I'm really excited to have this guy here for today, for at least this segment, to talk about his Carolina Panthers, y'all. He is, let me see here. We already talked Jelani J.B. Bodie. You already heard that in the last segment with those Falcons. And then before him, we got into those Tampa Bay Buccaneers with our friend from across the pond, Mr. Lee. It was awesome talking to him earlier on in the show about his Buccaneers all the way from the UK. And, of course, we got Mr. Kyler Reynolds coming up after this to talk about his Saints to close out the 8 divisions in 8 days right here on NFC Week. But, of course, there are 2 more teams to go. And one of those teams are the Panthers and the other are the Saints. And, well, let's just say he's excited to be here. I'm excited to be here because I don't know if I'll ever meet a bigger Panthers fan in my life. As I always say, y'all, if you're not following them on YouTube, then shame on you because he is one half of the Brothers Blue on YouTube. And, of course, those videos are also now posted and shared on the IE Sports Radio YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, as I mentioned already, one half of the Brothers Blue on YouTube, proud member of the IE Sports Radio family, and proud member of the 3 and Out team here at IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. John Felipe. What's going on, John?
What's going on, brother, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, brother. Good to have you back, man. And, well, we'll find out for sure if you're going to be on Thursday's show. I'm pretty sure we already know that during the show. But it's always fun talking about the future when we're not there yet. You know?
I know, right? Literally.
But it's all good. But anyway, y'all,
the future. Like,
what was that?
People listening to this, we can see into the future. People listening to this will be like, oh, snap.
Yeah, exactly. That was odd. But...
Or it won't be.
Right.
Multiple timelines.
Right. But with that said, y'all, once again, this interview was recorded on Sunday, July 28th, as a lot of the interviews for this week, actually almost all of them, were recorded on Sunday. Sunday was a busy day for me. Sunday, July 28th. But let's go ahead and roll right on now into these Carolina Panthers. First things first, man. I know this is something that, we ask every year to some of our regulars. It's like, all right, well, the listeners maybe have already heard this in the past, in previous 8 divisions in 8 days, but it's a little refresher, especially for the Panthers fans tuning in right now. Maybe this was their first time. John, let all these diehard Panthers fans know how you became such a diehard Panthers fan.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, obviously, the big thing first is geographically. I mean, I was born in North Carolina, and so I kind of grew up around the Panthers area, but not necessarily a Panthers fan. It wasn't until I was about 7 or 8 years old that I actually started really even caring about football in the beginning. It was when the Panthers went to the Super Bowl. It was when the Panthers went to the Super Bowl, and we had a little bit of a party. I went upstairs, and I saw the excitement everyone was having with each throw, and I didn't even at that time really understand how the rules worked. Or, my father, I asked, it was like, oh, what's better? When it's 1st and 10, is it better to have a big number or a small number? And then, it was like, oh, no, definitely a small number. And then I saw they were cheering, and I saw 1st and 10 again, and I was like, wait, I thought it was better to have a small number. You were just cheering because it was like, no, this is a new drive. And so I was very new. I didn't really understand the dynamics, but I saw the excitement it brought. And I was watching the game and just seeing the excitement. And that got me interested in the game of football. Before that, I wasn't really that into sports. And as soon as I started playing it myself and started beginning to understand the intricacies of the game, I mean, it was all bets were off at that point. I literally became an encyclopedic. I wanted to learn. Okay, then what was the first Panthers player drafted? Well, what was his stats for his first year? What became of the Panthers? What about the 70s? What about the 80s? What about the 90s? How did we get to this point? What is the NFL? Like I started learning about all the stats, everything there was about it, and at that point on, I became a draft buff, and so every year I would go into the Panthers draft learning about new people, and then I would learn about those people as they progress throughout their careers, and at that point you have a personal connection to them. So I couldn't stop liking the Panthers if I wanted to at this point. I'm just so invested. I know every player because I was there from the very beginning when they were drafted, and players like Brian Burns, I was over there cheering when they were drafted, and Cam Newton a few years ago. And so I I kind of morphed into this Panthers super fan over the years.
That's what I'm talking about, man. And that's awesome. That's cool. I remember hearing you talk about, like, being a youngster and the excitement and the smaller the number and the new series or new driver. That's really cool, man. I remember hearing that. So, see, I'm glad we have refreshers, because it's either you said that before and I totally forgot, or you didn't even say that before and you left it out and now you brought that. That's really cool, man. See, so I'm excited for that, man. So I'm excited for for you to become such a diehard. I mean, I love it. I came the same exact thing. I remember telling my mom one time that my father and I were watching Frog Ball because I forgot the name of it, so I thought it was something with an F, and I was like 4 years old or 5 years old. It was freaking funny, but yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, I got so into it watching my dad and the Raiders and these, what it's all about, man. It's just being a diehard, So, all right, Mr. John, let's start things off with a little look at last season, man. So, Google Magic, of course. I gotta go ahead and dial up the NFC South and take a look here at how things were last year. All right, so here we go, courtesy of NFL.com, or at least the standings right here on Google. NFL.com, where it just pops up and says the standings. But we have here, we'll just go to NFL.com. So, with that said, the NFC South last year. We talked about this earlier with Jelani J.B. Bodie, and, of course, with Mr. Lee. But I'll tell you what, man. Those Saints were something. Okay, I sound like John Gruden right now. I really do. I feel just like Frank Galiendo when he does that. Like, I'll tell you what, man.
Yeah, the parody guy.
Right? Those Saints were really something. but
they really played football.
We gotta get a John Madden winner there, man. Frank Gallendo's the man. He cracks me up. He's like, when you drive down the field and you get a first down, that means you get a brand new set of 10 yards to go, and then you keep on going, and before you know, pow, you're in the touchdown.
You know why you want a touchdown? I will tell you why you need a touchdown. Because that gives you 7 points.
I love it. Hey, I love John Gruden and John Madden, but I'm just saying, Frank Gallendo, man, that guy is a legend. Like, that guy, it's funny when he does Jaws. Like, this morning I watched 957 hours of film on this guy.
Just this morning, between 8 and 9 a.m.
It's the best. Like, I absolutely love watching that guy. Like, it's so funny, man. But anyway, so last year, the that totally gets threw me off. That's pretty funny. But all right, so anyway, in the NFC South, the New Orleans Saints. Well, we know. And I love it because the way Jelani said it earlier in the show, man. He said an opportunity. They had an opportunity. He says, they're not saying they would have won, but they had a missed opportunity when there was that, blatantly non-called.
They're all right.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you will agree, and...
they're all right.
They had a missed opportunity when they didn't get that call for them, but they would finish at...
You mean the playoff game?
Yes.
Yeah. But also their season, they're all right.
Yeah, exactly right. Jelani said it. I think Jelani said it best earlier. He says, it was an opportunity that they missed. He says, because regardless, we didn't know if they really would have won anyway.
Yeah.
So, with that said...
They kind of were screwed over, but, I don't mind. Sure.
Right? So, we have the Saints at 13-3, the Falcons at 7-9, the Panthers at 7-9, and the Buccaneers at 5-11. So, let's go ahead and talk about that 7-9 season real quick, John. Give us the ups and downs and everything, and give us your thoughts on last season for the Panthers.
Yeah, let's, because this is a very... last year was an incredibly interesting season. Probably the most interesting, purely from an interest standpoint in terms of, how weird it was, that I've ever seen as a Panthers fan. First off, I do want to give a little bit of a plug. Amazon, they created a series All or Nothing. I don't know if you heard about this lately, but it's kind of like Hard Knocks, and they followed the Panthers throughout last season. And I feel like that gave me, even somebody that closely watched it all last season, a new perspective just watching the team in their locker room, the ups and downs. It kind of made me relive it in a way that I almost didn't live it in the first place. You guys should check that out. All or Nothing. It's on Amazon. It's kind of like Hard Knocks type of thing, except for instead of preseason, it followed the season of the Carolina Panthers last year.
Nice.
Yeah. But in terms of the season itself, it's a tale of two halves, because I don't know if you remember, but the Carolina Panthers started off 6-2. They began the season 6-2 as one of the four most, literally on every list, most likely, or at least in the top 5 to win the Super Bowl. And so we saw this offense flourish with North Turner and Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey being able to get this little three-headed monster, and then our defense. It was a little weaker than in years past, even in the first half of the season, but they were still able to stop points from being scored. But what happened when it all changed, and this was literally the focal point in terms of the center point of our season, was that Pittsburgh Steelers primetime game, and it wasn't a thing that happened at that game in terms of the points scored or confidence loss. It was a hit to Cam Newton's shoulder. It was a hit by T.J. Watt, A.J. Watt's brother, who was a Pittsburgh Steeler, to Cam Newton's shoulder. And from that point on, he was not able to throw the ball down the field. And you can see, me and my brother were saying it, even though that Ron Rivera and North Turner were trying to leg behind, we can throw a long ball. Like, they never really say it as it is. They're always optimistic during the season. But we could see that Cam Newton wasn't able to throw the ball down the field, and it was true. I mean, it kind of decimated our offense. We weren't able to stretch the field. Christian McCaffrey was starting to be relied on as our runner rather than the versatile Swiss Army knife that he actually is, just because there was no ability for Cam to throw it down the field, so everybody was stacking the line, and they were looking at short throws to DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel rather than the longer throws that we were capable of if Cam had a healthy shoulder. So the first half of the season was fantastic. It shows the opportunity that we've had to be a playoff contender. And I think even this year, we have a better team than we did at the first half of that season. And then the second half of the season was the folly of Cam not being able to throw the ball down the field.
You guys had, it was like the woes and the highs of the Panthers season last year. It was and
that's why, Larry, I really recommend, I don't know if you have Amazon Prime, but you can watch it on Amazon Prime for free if you do. But, All or Nothing, that it's literally like the highs and the lows. It was the theme of the show was that Beyonce song. They kept kind of interweaving it throughout the series. It was like, it could be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. You know what I'm talking about? Sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. That's what it was. That was like the whole thematics of it.
That's freaking hilarious because that's exactly what it was.
No, exactly. That's why they thematically made it that way. It was a really well done thing. I highly recommend it if you want to understand the Panthers season last year. For everyone listening.
That's awesome. Well, I didn't even know that. I definitely got to check that out. I don't have Amazon Prime. But I don't know, maybe some of my friends have it. I don't know. I'll find out. That's crazy. So let's take a look here at some free agency, man, because I know you were pretty excited about one guy in particular, and that's Matt Paredes, man. This guy, center, of course, coming on over from Denver. You guys picked him up in free agency. Next up, Taylor Heineke, I believe. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but Heineke, I don't know, but quarterback, of course.
Yeah, he was with us. He was with us last year too.
Okay, well, you re-signed him apparently. Gerald Williams. Heineke. Okay, it's offensive tackle. And I believe you guys re-signed him as well. Also, Bruce Irvin, you signed him to a 1-year deal. Mm-hmm. Former Raider. Then, and that's all it says here. It was once again courtesy of ESPN, of ESPN.com. And did I miss any? Were there any more pickups for the Panthers this year in free agency?
I mean, the biggest one.
Oh, how can I forget? Oh my gosh! The elephant in the room. How can I? Wow. Go ahead, John. Drop it on us.
Gerald mother-flipping McCoy. Gerald McCoy is now a Carolina Panther. And I have to tell you, he's been lighting it up in training camp.
Yeah, Gerald Mother Flipping McCoy. McCoy. Yeah, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And
former Pro Bowler, former Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, all of that.
Beast.
He's ours now.
At the end of the day, just overall beast. All right, so yeah, this guy is kind of the real deal. So go through, of course, a few of those. I think Matt Paredes and Gerald McCoy, I think you're going to be spending some more time on. But go ahead and talk about, or maybe even Bruce Irvin, talk about all the pickups for the Panthers this year, or however many you would like to, and just kind of talk about how they could be immediate impacts or impacts down the road for your team.
Yeah, so players like Matt Paredes, I think, will be a huge addition. Ryan Khalil, it may not make an immediate impact in the team in terms of our record, but Ryan Khalil retired last year, and he is one of the unheralded heroes of this entire stretch of the Panthers being in the playoff conversation for the last 5 years, and even that 15-1 season. Ryan Khalil was one of those unheralded heroes because he was Cam's bodyguard in one way, but he was also Cam's. He was so much smarter than people give him credit for. Even and he's viewed as a smart player. He's just someone that's able to point out the defensive line position, the secondary's position on a whim. Like, he watches so much film. He's almost analogous to the Luke Kuechly of our offensive line. And he retired this past year. And so it would have been a huge drop-off if we didn't find somebody like Matt Paredes. So it may not be something that you see in terms of just, popped up, now our offensive line is way better. But the fact that we won't dip is really what he brings to us, because Ryan Khalil was one of the greats in terms of Panthers history for a center. And then even in the NFL, he was one of those guys that was never really talked about because, the best offensive linemen are the one you never hear their name until they're getting a contract re-signing. Those are the best ones. Yeah. So that's one of them. Bruce Irvin, I think, will be great because we have a new 3-4 defense that we're trying out. Not necessarily on every play, but for a lot of plays, we're going to be integrating what they're calling the Hollywood package. And so we have the guys for it. Now we have Brian Burns, the rookie signing, and then we have Bruce Irvin, of course, and players like Mario Addison, who also have that speed and that quickness. Like, we just have these NASCAR package type players that we were able to let them tie back their ears and run loose. And I think Brian Irvin will be a play in that. And then finally, I think the biggest signing, undoubtedly, of our free agency was Gerald McCoy. I mean, Gerald McCoy is somebody that he has that first step quickness, blended with the power, blended with his knowledge of the game, blended with his leadership and his locker room ability, blended with him being very seldomly injured and being very sturdy. I mean, there's just not a player prototype that you can find better in terms of defensive tackle than Gerald McCoy. And so when we signed him, it was a big moment for the Panthers. In terms of the last 5 years, we have not had anything close to that large of a free agency signing. And for him to be able to be on our team, an already stacked team in terms of our defense and offense and our personnel, I mean, I really feel that these Panthers are going to be... we're not even able to fathom what they're going to be able to do because we just haven't seen a team like this. Bearing any injuries, this is the best Panther team I've ever seen in my life. Like, ever. even throughout our history, because I went back when I started to become a Panther fan and kind of looked back at all our teams and learned about their players and their strengths and weaknesses. We've never had a team with this many strengths, ever. So I'm very excited to see what they can do.
I am too, because you guys, that's a big statement, man. Like, that's pretty big.
No, it's true. It's true.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys certainly have a squad. And add to that squad, there's even more. Because, take a look at this draft, y'all. So, here we go, courtesy of ESPN.com. Let's take a look at the Panthers draft. So, first round, 16th overall pick, Brian Burns. Monster out of Florida State, man. Outside linebacker. Very good sideline to sideline linebacker from what I understand. Then we have, I don't know too much about him, but I do know he's a freaking monster. Then you have number 37 overall pick, Greg Little, offensive tackle, out of Ole Miss in the second round. So you got some protection. Well, some more depth for the protection in for Cam Newton. Third round with the 100th overall pick, Will Grier. Guy looked pretty darn good in the Senior Bowl. Of course, a quarterback out of West Virginia. A guy that can, this is good because he is backup for Cam Newton. And honestly, man, for his career, who would you rather be behind? Will Grier but he has that same type of, player mentality to where it's he won't hesitate to run. He's like a bang type of player.
You know what he has? He has the intangible. He has something that what's the Browns quarterback name? The one that was just recently drafted.
The Broncos?
No, the Browns. I don't know how I'm blanking.
Baker Mayfield.
He has what Baker Mayfield has. That intangible ability to be a leader of men, that drive to win, that will stop at nothing, and I think that's what Marty Herney's good at finding.
I think so too. And why? I mean, who would you rather be behind? You have one of the best quarterbacks in the game, Cam Newton. So I mean, who would you rather? You know what I mean? Who would you rather be behind to learn? You have a style just like this guy,
and he has definitely, and he has a great quick release, and he has at least enough arm strength. He may not have the best arm strength in the game, but he has at least enough arm strength to be able to complete the playbook.
I thought he looked pretty darn good. So next up,
he is.
He a pretty good player there. Next up, with the 115th overall pick in the fourth round, you guys pick up Christian Miller, outside linebacker of Alabama, and as anybody who should know, Alabama linebackers are usually beasts. In the fifth round, 154th overall pick, Jordan Scarlett, running back out of Florida. Don't know too much about him, but it's an SEC running back. Next up, we have in the sixth round, with the number 212th pick, Dennis Daly, offensive tackle out of South Carolina, so another SEC offensive lineman. And then in the seventh round, in your guys' final pick, with a 237th overall pick, Terry Godwin, wide receiver out of Georgia. And, I mean, I remember seeing somewhat of him in the Senior Bowl, but my gosh, this guy, actually, I don't know if it was the Senior Bowl or not, if he played there, I don't know what game he played in. I know they have the NFL PA Bowl and all that. I know they have a couple of the East-West Shrine Bowl. I don't know what game he played in, but my gosh, out of Georgia, I mean, he was next to Riley Ridley. I mean, this guy, he was next to him and Hardman, Mercole Hardman. So I don't know I have no idea how he fell so late. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's something there I don't see, but hey, you guys got a pretty good pickup there. And overall, man, I mean, I thought you guys had a pretty good draft. I think I gave you guys an A this last past year. I don't remember, and I don't know, but go ahead and give them a grade. I know you probably gave them a grade as well. I know you did earlier this year on a draft edition, but I don't remember, and I don't know about you. But yeah, go ahead and talk about your draft a little bit, man.
Yeah, so it's difficult. I could maybe grade each pick, but it's difficult for the entire grade just because this year we picked up a lot of unknown variables. We picked up a lot of boom or bust guys. Guys like Jordan Scarlett, who I think he has the potential because of his ability as a power runner to be able to be sturdy. But I'll start at the top. So Brian Burns, obviously. I mean, this is something that I love. I've been raving about him all year. I love his quickness, his ability to understand what the offensive lineman's doing, that first step, and being able to know that, this guy thinks, I'm doing Cornell AC, and so that means I'm going to turn to the left and fake. And for him to know the offensive lineman's doing that and know he's going to lean left and to fake left and quickly go right and to have the speed and quickness to do it. I mean, Brian Burns is somebody that has the potential to be a Pro Bowler, a perennial Pro Bowler, if not an All-Pro. Going on to the second-round pick, Greg Little. He is one of these guys that I was referring to. We don't really know what he is. We know he's a mammoth. He's a big guy, and he's coming in to compete for that tackle position because we recently cut Matt Cleo, which was a liability all through and through. But the real question is if Darrell Williams will be healthy. Darrell Williams was a guy that was All-Pro 2 years ago, and last year he hurt himself in training camp. And so that was a contract year, and he came back and signed a one-year deal. So we brought in a second-round offensive tackle just in case he needs help, and he'll join Darrell Williams and Taylor Moton to be able to fight for that. But he's somebody that's very raw, and I believe he may or may not have been injured in college, but he's somebody that has the ability and capacity to succeed. And so that's pretty exciting for him to have all the tools to succeed. So we'll see if he's able to actually do so. Another guy just like him was Will Greer, we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. He's only going to have to be a backup for now. But you know who I liken him to? I liken him to Jimmy Garoppolo. When Jimmy Garoppolo was drafted by the New England Patriots, that's the type of pick Will Greer is. He's the guy that has upside and ability, but we're only drafting him to nurture that ability so he can be either a great backup or a great trade bait, And that's exactly his role that he's playing. And if he does become a great quarterback, a really great quarterback, we would have no choice but to trade him unless Cam Newton was injured. And if he becomes a serviceable backup, then we'll be able to keep him for years to come, and maybe even after Cam Newton retires, have him for a couple of years while we find a new quarterback. And so moving on, Christian Miller, that's somebody that, he's another guy that we didn't really know much about. We know he will fit our Hollywood package because he's somebody that has a little bit of quickness, a little bit of speed, and so we can put him in on third down, with Brian Burns and Mario Addison, guys that will just put their ears back and run. But we don't really know as much what we have. Jordan Scarlett, the fifth-round pick, he is somebody that I kind of touched on. I mean, going 3 times a chart. Jordan Scarlett's another guy that we really don't know what we have. He's somebody that has potential. He's powerful. He can run hard every play, but we really don't know if he's a complete player yet. But it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because he has the ability to develop and take limited strength, limited steps. Oh my gosh. Limited reps. Limited strength, limited steps, limited reps behind Christian McCaffrey. And so while we determine what his best strengths are and what he can do to best help the team, we can just put him in positions to succeed behind Christian McCaffrey. We're not forcing him into the starting position. In terms of the last couple of picks, we had another offensive tackle from South Carolina. I forgot what his name was, but I know he was somebody that was really a run stopper. He had some problems in being able to stop the quick, fast linemen, in pass protection, and he's going to be a little bit of a project. I know he's going to be a little bit of a project, and I'm not sure he makes the team this year. Maybe he'll be a practice squad guy and then come back, and so he's definitely going to be a project. And then finally, you were referring to earlier from Georgia, Terry Godwin, who was, oh my gosh, what's the dude's name? Marquise Godwin. Chris Godwin. somebody in the NFL is his brother. A speed guy. There's a speed guy in the NFL that's his brother, but this guy does not have the same speed. And so we'll see what he can do. He's another project that we kind of got at the tail end, just to be able to try to solidify our receiving core and see how we could improve for the future.
Alrighty, well, there you go. And my bad, dude. I don't know if you're leaning on the phone. It's kind of hard to hear. You sound a little muffled. But,
did you hear any of that?
I got a lot of that, yes, but you sound a little muffled, so it's my bad. Sorry about that. But,
darn.
It's okay, but you can understand a lot of it.
Okay.
And you're good. But I should have told you earlier. Sorry about that. You were just on a roll, though. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and continue. Final segment of the show. Sorry about that, listeners. Once again, today is just a day where everyone is calling because we're scheduling these times and we're kind of crossing over times right now. So we only got literally 8 minutes, but within those 8 minutes, let's do this, John. Let's go ahead and switch it up and go into stick it to them. You could be nice, you could be mean, you could be respectful, you could be disrespectful, whatever you want to do. All thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here on iSports Radio, including the guests and the podcasters. So with that said, you know the drill. You know what to do. I already told you about this, man. So say what you will about the NFC South this year. Give everybody a record if you want to. Give yourselves a record if you want to. You don't have to. I know some people are superstitious, and that's okay. But let us know, man. John, NFC South, stick it to them.
Yeah, so I'll start with the biggest competition, and that's obviously the New Orleans Saints. I mean, the Saints have been rising for a number of years in terms of their defensive capabilities. I don't know if you remember, but just a couple of years ago, during the first half of the season, they had the worst defense in the NFL. It was the laughing stock. I mean, it was funny because it was difficult for us to face them when we did, but they were still one of the worst teams in terms of defensive stopping points scored against in the NFL. And so I think the Saints are reaching new territory. They have a couple of guys reaching their third year in terms of Michael Thomas, who's somebody who is really an all-around fantastic player. He has the strength, the speed, the size, the knowledge to be able to be a stalwart for years. And then Alvin Kamara, who has literally been, I mean, we can't hear whenever we talk about the greatness of Christian McCaffrey, it always comes back to like, oh, but what about Alvin Kamara? Because they're such similar players. And where Christian McCaffrey has that change of direction, that's his whole thing. That's like what he's good at. Like where Tyreek Hill has speed, Christian McCaffrey has change of direction. He can just cut on a dime. Where Christian McCaffrey has that change of direction, Alvin Kamara has explosiveness. And when I say explosiveness, the meaning is so every time he's like met with an obstacle and there's a defender that gets in his way and he has to move literally one step and he's at full speed. And that's rare. That's rare in the NFL. So he's explosive. He has that first step and boom, accelerates. And Christian McCaffrey is better more so in avoiding that defender in the first place. He might not explode as quickly, but he wouldn't even have to because he would turn. So they have different strengths, but they're clumped together because they have that receiving ability as well as that running ability. So the Saints are somebody to watch for. Next biggest threat, I would say, is probably the Atlanta Falcons. And so I feel like the Falcons are a difficult team to gauge because they're kind of like the Panthers. I assume they're like the Panthers to other teams because when everyone thinks the Panthers aren't going to do well, they do amazingly. And when everyone thinks the Panthers are going to knock it out of the park, they bomb. And it's very similar. It's very similar to the Atlanta Falcons in all the talent that they have in terms of their running backs. Matt Ryan, their guy. I mean, they have a lot of speed on their defense. Guys like Deion Jones, and now Calvin Ridley is coming into his second year. So Matt Ryan has a little bit of a safety valve. And maybe somebody that could take a little bit of coverage outside of Julio Jones. So I definitely think they have potential, but we really don't know what the Falcons are until we see the Falcons play. And that's kind of similar to the Panthers because no one expected that 15-1 year for the Panthers to go 15-1. And in fact, we weren't even considered playoff contenders for the majority of the offseason. In terms of the predictions, USA Today, the big projections model had us going 7-9 that season in 2015, and they ended up going 15-1. Now I think that's similar. The Falcons have a similar thing going on because nobody can really see what their game is going to play like, regardless of how they actually look on paper, if they're a paper team or not, as you would say. But last but not least, the Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers have been the problem child of the NFC South for quite a while. They've been the Browns of the South, so to speak. And now with Jameis Winston, it's difficult with Jameis because he was a top pick, number 2 overall, and he's somebody that has all of the upside in the world, all of this talent that you cannot teach. And it's difficult to part ways with somebody like that. Look at the Raiders with Jamarcus Russell. It's difficult to part ways with somebody like that, even if they're not doing the best for your team. And I think they're in that little debacle right now because Jameis Winston, when he is on the field and he is doing well, he's doing fantastic. But most of the time he's not, and that's the problem. So I think he has the ability to throw deep, throw long. He makes too many risky decisions, and too many of those risky decisions end up as interceptions or his players being hurt. Is he somebody I would want on fourth quarter 2-minute drill? No, not at all. He's not somebody I would want in any way. But is he somebody I would want in the first quarter with the capacity and ability to not even need to get to that 2-minute drill to put up 50 points in the beginning? Yeah, I would. He has that upside. And so it's going to ride on the back. The Buccaneers season is going to ride on the back of Jameis Winston.
And there it is, John, sticking it to him. Alrighty, man. Well, there it is. Coming down to the end of the segment. All right, good sir. As I always say, man, make sure to give yourself all the plugs you can, man. Let these diehard Panthers fans know where they can find you, find your channel, and, of course, they can find you on any social media you would like to share.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, so you guys can check us out at The Brothers Blue on YouTube. We're on a little bit of hiatus for the summer, and a little bit before that too, but we recently joined the Roaring Riot, and so now we're going to be putting up videos on a weekly basis during the season, and so it's an exciting opportunity for me and my brother. You can check us out, anything Panthers, anything you want to know really about the NFC South, or really the looking at it inside of football. If you like football, you'll like our channel. And then also you can check me out on Twitter at Carpan423. And so that's The Brothers Blue and Carpan423 on Twitter. I'm looking forward to having a discussion with you guys. Comment on my videos. Tell me why I was wrong. Talk to me on Twitter. It's all about, fans having a community, and, that's the fun of it.
Well, there you have it. Once again, y'all, John Felipe. Big shout out, man. Awesome job as always. Hey, man, I appreciate that guy. You stopping by, man. Thanks again for being on today's show.
Yeah, of course. Anytime, man.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So, Panthers fans, make sure you show them some love. Give them a follow. And, hey, there you have it. So, 2 teams down, 2 more to go. Actually, my gosh, no, 3 teams down, 1 more to go. And we already know that's Kylan Reynolds and those New Orleans Saints. And so, anyway, with that said, y'all, that's going to do it for this segment. Hey, John, once again, thanks again, man. God bless you and your family. Have a wonderful week and take care, man. Hopefully We'll see how it goes for Thursday, but of course, we'll see you back regularly starting up in the preseason, and then of course in the regular season, man. Thanks again.
Oh, yeah.
Man, thanks again. Take care. I say, God bless you and your brother and your family, man. Have a great time at home, and we'll be talking to you soon.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, bud. Anytime, brother. Take care. All right, y'all. Once again, that was Mr. John Felipe. Go show him some love, man, on Twitter, The Brothers Blue on YouTube, and that will be that. So anyway, y'all, when we get back on the other side of this break, well, it's about that time to talk some Saints football with the fat Mac himself, Mr. Kyler Reynolds, y'all. Faith and trials make a Christian. Loving hands and helping hands and loving hearts make the world a better place. I love saying that, y'all. So with that said, on the other side of this break, it's about time for some Saints gumbo. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, the conclusion of NFC week on the NFC South edition of 8 divisions in 8 days, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source.
Can you dig it, you sucker?
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
That's right, football fans, right here on Spreaker.com. Well, can you believe it? We are down to our last 26 minutes here of the show, but what could I say, man? I had to save this guy for last. We have officially made it. We have officially gotten all the way to the 32nd team of 8 divisions in 8 days. My gosh, can we get an applause for that? I mean, that is just something right there. We got it! All 32 teams. 32 diehard fans this season. It's the first time we've ever done it. Last year we came close to 31, but this year we got it. We got all 32 teams, all 32 diehards, and the next diehard is on the line. He needs an introduction, but he's going to get it anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcoming in one of the biggest Saints fans you will ever meet, from all the way from the Big Easy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fat Mac himself. Faith and trials make a Christian. Helping hands and loving hearts make the world a better place. Of course, y'all. Who that? Who that? Who that's how you gonna beat them Saints? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Colin Fat Mac Reynolds. What's going on, Colin?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you feeling, man? Let's go. Who that nation stand up?
Here we go, man. That's right, y'all. Who that nation stand up? Because it's about that time, man. Colin, it's a short and sweet segment, man. But, hey, I don't think we need a whole bunch of time anyway, man. First things first, refresh these diehard Saints fans out there. How you became such a diehard, man?
Hey, man, just simple, man. I'm from the Bayou. I'm from New Orleans, you know, the area, man. And I grew up loving my Saints from the Aints with the bag all the way to the very present moment in time, man. Just black and gold is in my veins.
That's what's up, man. I know it's just the story right there. That's just how it goes, man. True diehard from the place itself, from the region geographically, and that's all there is to it, man. So, with that said, Colin, these Saints last year got down and dirty, unfortunately. As Jelani was on the show earlier, of course, recorded his interview on the 30th, and he said, when y'all head up to the ATL on Gobble Gobble Day, y'all about to get it, basically. And he said they're going to dethrone y'all. And he also said he can't wait for that. I mean, I said I can't wait for that primetime face-off. He said, let's get it. And he also said that you guys got cheated of an opportunity because who knows if y'all would have really won that game. So, Colin, any comments?
Hey, man, listen, we're going to have a Falcons on Turkey Day. We're going to have some Falcons on Turkey Day. Hey, I never ate no Falcon, but hey, listen, we can put something different on the table this year.
You said Falcon. Don't you say Colin Falcon?
Yeah, Falcon. They can't do nothing.
Oh, Falcon.
I know my grandma is double negative, but nothing positive coming out of Atlanta, especially the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, not Dome Stadium. But that's a conversation for another team.
With that said, Colin, last year, 13-3 season, terrible blown call at the end of the NFC Championship game. It could have cost you, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Who knows if it really did cost you guys, but unfortunately it came to a very crappy ending for you guys, man. Weigh in on last season and weigh in on, your thoughts on last season as a whole and how good your team did and really focus that energy on into this season.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna hop up on this call as much. Thing about it was obvious, and yeah, I agree with Jelani. Who said we would have won the game? I got him with that. If this was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But the thing about it is that physically we had won that game. Opportunity we hadn't capitalized as much on opportunities, but during that drive we was driving, and I mean, just saying he doesn't hit Tommy Lewis, that's a catch, you know. I mean, not even with that, we set up a range at the goal line, but you know, things happened. It went, and the Rams went on and got flushed, so it gave us a little moral victory or whatever. But last year, man, the defense grew. You know, everybody knows the Saints to be, you know, the goal punch for points on the offense, but then on the defense end, man, our cornerbacks is one of the best years of our secondary of late, you know, and the growth of Hondell, Marshall Lattimore is taking the veteran role, I guess you want to say, you know, leadership role, and man, Alex Aloni, I mean, we had Okafor had a great year, man. Nothing but the best to him in Kansas City. You know, he's gone. But the thing about it all is that we as Buddha Nation, we want nothing but the best for our team. And just think about it. People didn't think that Alvin Kamara and Martin could repeat, and look what they did. I mean, Drew Brees, at 39 years old, he's still showing he's top of the game. Also ranked number 2 overall player out of top 100, which gives him the number 1 quarterback. That shows that we still are relevant. We're not giving up. And then going into this year with the free agency pickups, man, and our draft picks, man, we're ready. And we're going to be right back to the thick of things. I mean, Jelani can say that they're going to dethrone us. Hey, it's only time will tell, but the way the team is set up, man, right now, hey, man, we're strong. We're strong now. We're strong.
You guys look strong, man. Let's chop into that free agency real quick, man, courtesy of ESPN.com. Jared Cook, man, you guys picked him up. Of course, he was with the Raiders last 2 years. He's gone over to you guys now, man. Jared Cook's definitely a big-time player you guys picked up in free agency. Teddy Bridgewater will resign with the Saints. We also have here Marcus Sherrills, a punt returner and corner. He was with the Vikings. He's now a Saint. P.J. Williams, of course, will re-sign, man. Another great player. You remember him getting drafted a couple years back. Latavius Murray also heading on over to the Saints from the Minnesota Vikings. So we got 2 players going on from the Vikings to the Saints. Malcolm Brown, defensive tackle, coming over from New England. It's a big boy right there.
Oh, yeah, great pickup right there.
Great pickup. Craig Robinson, linebacker, of course, with the, let's see here. He's actually a re-signee, I think, but, you re-signed him. Will Lutz, also the kicker, you guys re-signed him. Mario Edwards coming on over from the New York Giants. Of course, big pickup there, I think, pretty good player. And let's see who else. And that says Marcus Sherrills again, punt returner and cornerback. And he was also with the Vikings. But with that said, all right, real quick, Colin, your thoughts on free agency this year, man. What can these guys do for you guys this year?
Well, first you missed one, Nick Easton, lineman from the Vikings. Nick Easton, he's going to come in, be a versatile lineman for us. Man, we lost our center Max Unger to uncertain retirement, but I love the fact that he felt that he wasn't playing at his best. His body wasn't at where he knew it could be to play his tip-top football, so he went ahead and hung the cleats up. You know, we'll give him a kudos for what he gave brought to the Saints, and we wish him the best on all his future endeavors. But Nick Easton coming from the Vikings, I mean, Sherrill's gonna show up their punt return so Alvin Kamara can focus on the offensive side, because you know we lost the bruiser of Mark Ingram going to the Baltimore Ravens. He still has Who That Nation on his back. We on his side. We cheer him still. But then also, man, this Mario Ellis pickup, it can be a sleeper pickup. So just for him just to be a rotational guy, but also putting a stamp on it. And Malcolm Brown coming from the New England Patriots, that shores up the interior, and we are ready. Our defensive line is set. And I told you about our corners. I mean, everybody is set at this point. So free agency with Jared Cook. Just think about this, Larry. This is the best tight end we had since Jimmy Graham. And Jimmy Graham, they say it was a systematic tight end because he couldn't block. All he could do is catch, and because his size and this and that. But let me tell you something. When Latavius Murray coming over from Minnesota, and he's going to be more of like a scat back, field time and screen catching type thing. And then Alvin Kamara's going to run more through the line this year. Alvin Kamara's going to do more versatile in slot position. So just think about Jared Cook. All he got to do is 5 and out. 5 and out. He got to do He doesn't do too many screens. He doesn't do too many streaks. He just do a few flares, in and outs, and he's gonna be right there, big target across the middle of Drew Brees when the pressure's up on him. And you have two speedsters with Murray and Kamara to dump it off. I mean, our frees, we pick up players that just fit with our system, and man, I mean, these guys are ready.
They really are, man. You guys got a very good pick, lots of good pickups, I think, man. I did not know about Max Unger. That sucks to hear, but you know what, man, that's a respectable way to go out. If he just feels that he's just not there no more, and it's just not, nowhere near what he could produce no more, and he just really doesn't have that desire anymore to do it. Honestly, you know what, that's very honorable and respectful for him to just step down, man. I did not know that, man. Big ups to Max Unger, man. Awesome career. Congratulations. And just as Kylam said, man, best of luck to you all in your future endeavors, man. So that's awesome. But yeah, man, lots of big pickups there. Let's go and jump on into the draft now, Kylam. You guys did not have a first-round draft pick, but you did pick up another center, Eric McCoy, out of Texas A&M. Which, I mean, what do you know? That's a big pickup right there because Max Unger did retire. It says that in the notes right here on ESPN.com as well. You did not have a third-round pick, but you did have a fourth-round pick. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, safety out of Florida. So you guess
we're excited about him. We're excited about him out of Florida. We're excited about him.
That he looks like a boomer, man, like a big time player. Didn't see a lot of Florida football this year, but I know SEC, man, of course, tough SEC defense right there, great stuff. You did not have a 5th round pick, but you had a 6th round pick. So the 177th overall pick, Saquon Hampton, another safety out of Rutgers. You guys picked up another safety. Then in the 7th round, you had a couple draft picks here, actually 2 of them. You had Elise Mack, tight end out of Notre Dame, and you had Caden Ellis, outside linebacker out of Idaho, and that was really about it. I think I gave you guys like a C or something just because you guys didn't have a lot of picks anyway, but maybe like a B because you had a pretty good pickup there with this center right here, Eric McCoy. And hey, man, if this safety, man, really, he's really, pretty legit safety, which I'm not saying that he's not. I mean, I think that's worthy of at least a C plus, B minus. I'm gonna say a C plus. But what was your grade, Colin? Give your Saints a grade, man, for this year in the draft.
Well, I would like to give them an A every year, but that's not the truth. Right here, I would say a B plus, A minus, only because of the position that they filled in the void that will become available, and they can step right in. What I mean by that is Eric McCoy. He's great. He's awesome pass blocker. He has work to do with the run blocking, but he's going to be a protege of whoever starts this year. I mean, they say right now it looks like Nick Easton is going to start. So with Ramczyk, Terrence Armstead, those guys are going to bring him in, teach him how to just his mechanics, his footwork, and how to shift from the college game to the very NFL. And him sitting a year or half a year, whatever, him at the jump, maybe at the jump in, but starting off, he's going to do the background, and that's the position that the Saints had been weak at before the trade of Jimmy Graham to Seattle and getting Max Unger. So with this pick, the Saints will be set for center for some years to come, and that's going to be great. Then with Gardner-Johnson, he's going to be like the ball. I don't know if you remember years back when, what's his name, from the Bills, the safety was a ball hog. I can't think of his name. Oh, man. But we got it, and he was a bust back there. And we've been trying to mimic the Darius Sharper era. We've been trying to mimic that. And I think now with Von Bell, he's in his best physical shape, so he can do the thing. We got Lattimore's going to, catch the trenches. He's going to catch, the wide receivers off the line. But this guy here can be that ball hog in the back. He can play that Darius Sharper type role. And don't forget Darius Sharper that he's doing his career with this thing. So a young Darius Sharper, Green Bay Darius Sharper, to come in, be the ball hog, solidify that defense on the back end. That's the thing that we're ready, man. And then one more pick, Alize Mack. Just think about it. We like David Thomas. We like Hugh Manada, all those systematic tight ends. Now we got Jared Cook. But if Alize Mack can come in, Notre Dame is known for tight ends. Don't forget Jeff Samardzija from about maybe 8 to 9 years ago. Went to the bowl game, tore LSU up, and then he got drafted. Not just by outside of it and stuff. He got drafted by the Chicago Cubs. Went on to have a great MLB career, but they showed that Notre Dame put out athletes. And Allison Mack, they say he's in phenomenal shape. They say he's running drills with the running back. He's running drills with the quarterback. So he's in physical tip-top shape. So these guys that we have, Larry, is going to do what they have to do to make the team. They're going to make the team, but they're going to have to do to learn and be a strong and to soak up the veteran knowledge so they can be functioning, high-functioning players at the next level. So between our free agents, between our draft picks, I think that the Saints have the pieces that we were missing. Now, other positions like running back, quarterback, those areas we've been solidified for years. So now we have these young guys that come in, be students of the game, and then they can implement their abilities on the field.
I like it, man. You convinced me. I'm going to say B, a solid B. It's because I feel like, I don't know, what did you guys trade away for that first round pick?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
What did y'all trade away for that first round pick?
I'm thinking next year, first and third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, who did you guys get for that?
You talking from McCoy?
Was that from McCoy?
Yeah, we got back. We all trade up from McCoy. We traded up. I think we was at maybe a thing 62 or something like that, and we traded up.
Okay, who did you get for the first round though? I know you guys didn't have a first round. What was the reason for that?
I think that was going back to the Ramczyk pick from last year.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. He's a good player, man. So definitely Ramczyk, great player. So it was worth it. I can give you guys a solid B. Good stuff there. Really, is nothing more. Maybe honestly, that would be nice. I want to say B. That's a good grade. Nothing more I can give. There's no first round. Kind of sucks, but I think it depends on Ramczyk's production. But I would say a B. Turns out it might just even be an A with his production. But anyway, we don't have a whole bunch of time. But hey, man, Colin, you know the drill, man. All thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here on IE Sports Radio, including the podcasters and the guests. And in this time, he's of course, my co-host right now, Kyle on live with me talking about his Saints. With that said, Kyle, we only got a couple minutes here, man, but in about 4 minutes' time, let these fans know, man, what's going on with the NFC South this year. Tell us who you think is going to finish fourth, third, second, first, or first, second, third, fourth. Give them final records. Of course, give your Saints a final record if you would like to. If you don't want to, I know you're super. I know some people are. No, you are superstitious. I'm going to say some people are superstitious, so you don't have to. Some people are superstitious, so you don't have to give a final record. But go ahead, man, weigh in. We call this little segment "Stick It to Him." So, Colin, without further ado, stick it to him.
Hey, man. Well, I'm gonna start with this team. I gotta start with Giants, Panthers. This Panthers team is scary because of one guy, not named Cam Newton. Christian McCaffrey, man. This dude here is great, man. When he touches the ball, I get afraid. I get afraid because his north and south abilities are known, but his east and west, this guy can change direction in a drop of a dime. Yeah, I know I'm a Saints fan. I'm talking good about the Panthers. I got that. But with Cam Newton at the helm, they're talking about his physical shape, MVP season. I don't think so. I put the Panthers. I don't want to do this. I don't want to put them at the bottom of the division, Larry, but it's going to be between them and the Bucs at the bottom. But I think this year, if Cam stays healthy, they'll be third place. If Cam stays healthy. But I don't see anything great. Then I'm gonna do a little something different for you, Larry. I don't do records. I don't do score predictions. But this year, I'm gonna do records. If this is contingent on a healthy Cam Newton. On a healthy Cam Newton, I say the best that the Panthers would do would be 8-8. For the healthy Cam Newton, 8-8 this year. I think that the NFC South is stronger this year all around defensively, and I say 8-8 for them at the best if Cam is healthy. Next thing I want to talk about is the Buccaneers. They got Quan Alexander, LSU Tiger, but they have one of the best defensive players ever to walk Baton Rouge, Devin White, linebacker. Man, I thought the Saints were going to trade up and draft Devin White. But nope. Hey, I thought that, they were talking about trading back in and all that stuff. and they were talking about how many first-round picks got to give up for it, but it didn't happen, and I'm glad it didn't because we got the things that we needed, and we didn't sacrifice our future for just a player by name. But Devin White will have a phenomenal career, great linebacker. But I don't know if there's going to be game in team. I don't know what's going to happen with them. That's why I think 8-8 for Panthers. And the Bucs have a great defense, and defense won championship. So I give them 9-7 on the good side. I give like 6-10 on the low end. That's for the Bucs. So they may flip flop with Carolina. And I'm all due respect, I got to get Atlanta second place. And just because they try to do everything like us, Larry. You know, Michael Thomas just got the banks dropped on him for 5 years, $100 million, 61 guaranteed. Now the deal is about he wants to make Julio Jones the best wide receiver in the league, highest paid wide receiver in the league. That it may happen, but you know what? Julio Jones has more fumbles against the Saints than touchdowns. That tells me somebody gets a little bit afraid when they play the black and gold. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Jelani, hope you're listening, man. Hey, Turkey Day is going to be great for us, man. We're going to gobble on some felt cat. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, don't forget that you also got the same sponsor as the Saints. We have Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Now they have Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know, remember this movie of Ashton Kutcher was playing this movie. And he was a swimmer. He tattooed a number 2 on his back because he wanted everybody to know the race was finished. Who was in second place? He wanted the person not to forget that he was second best. That's what I want the folks to know. We'll always will be second best to New Orleans. Hey, and now, for the New Orleans Saints, everybody listening across the nation, across the world, across America, if you listen right here in New Orleans, holler at your boy. Listen, the New Orleans Saints will finish. You want to give them no prediction either because I don't know how far they can fall. So, New Orleans, stand up. Everybody listening, we were 13-3 last year. We have a tough schedule up. Let me turn around. I'm at my desk, Larry, and I'm looking at my schedule right now. Hey, I'm excited about this year. We get a rematch of those same Rams week 2. Woo-hoo. Man, that's going to be nice. And we get revenge against the Cowboys on September 29th. Woo. Then we get the Falcons on Turkey Day, November 28th. These are some big games I'm circling, Larry. And also, we finished 29th. Carolina always plays great in the year. So I'm looking for that battle in Carolina to be a shootout, to be a battle against Carolina. Hopefully, Cam stays healthy. And I'm looking at the schedule, Larry. You listen, Larry. Score record prediction of the New Orleans Saints. We are going 14-2. New Orleans Saints, 14-2. We repeat NFC South Crown champions, Crown of champions. And this year, we won't be defeated. We won't be disappointed. Remember the Bears from Minnesota by my boy Vince Wright. My boy Vince Wright was on it. Justin Ekstrom was on it. They beat us. Yeah, they beat us. We gave it up. We gave it up the last year. They went ahead and raped us. Raped us right now on stage. My mom was watching. Raped me right in front of her eyes and took the Super Bowl from us. But this year, yeah, we lost Mark Ingram. We wish him the best. But we're going to use Latavius Murray for his abilities. And we got Jared Cook. We got others on free. We have other people that we signed. And we have draft picks that we signed. And let me tell you something. The black and gold will not be defeated. We're going to stand up. We holler from my house to your house, from my set to your set. We are ready for some gumbo in New Orleans. We got some new flavors, baby. Are you ready for some football? Yeah!
There we go, y'all. Callum Reynolds, man. Callum Fat Man Reynolds again, man. What a great weigh-in right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we only got 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go, so here we go. Buccaneers, so good, yet so far. Can this team stop being a paper team? We will find out. I got them going 7-9, 6-10, but it can get better. Let's see if it does. Until then, I got a 6-10 final record. After that, how about those? It's going to be close. These two teams are going to be fighting for second, and it's going to be incredible. This is going to be quite the battle. The NFC East and the NFC South are going to be incredible. I got 3 teams going from one of these divisions. I just don't know who. That's all there is to it, y'all. Because I really do think the Redskins, the Eagles, and the Cowboys can all make the playoffs, and I also think that the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints can all make the playoffs. Who's it going to be? Well, it's going to be a 6-team race, I guess, and somebody's not going to make it elsewhere. Regardless, who am I going to get? Who am I taking? I'm going to be taking for second place. I got to give it to the Panthers, y'all. It's going to be close, but these Falcons, I think the Panthers can get one on them. I got 10-6 to the Panthers, 9-7 to the Falcons, and of course, I got 13-3 or 14-2 to the Saints. Stand up. Where's the Bayou at? Ladies and gentlemen, that has been it. Let's go ahead and cue the music, because we're out of here. It's been a good one. Thank you to all my guests, all 32 guests for 8 divisions in 8 days. Missed, of course, for today for the NFC South, Mr. Colin Fat Mac Reynolds, Mr. John Felipe, Mr. Jelani J.B. Bodie, and of course, earlier, the Buccaneers Observation Podcast, Miss Molly. Shout out to all of y'all, everybody. We made it, y'all. 32 teams are in the books. 8 divisions are in the books, and that's gonna do it, y'all. There's my final weigh-in. It's gonna be a battle, y'all. Let's do it. Here we go. Anyway, we will see y'all next Wednesday. Full go! Column, Fat Mac Reynolds, John Felipe, Mike Pat, and me, your boy Larry B. Check us out next Wednesday. It all begins the preseason. Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Let's get it, y'all. You can follow me, your boy Larry B. at THEEE_LB53. Give us a follow on all social media at IE Sports Radio. Check out IESportsRadio.com, and we'll see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.